Hey everybody, Tiffany Higgins here. We're gonna get started here in a few minutes on this wonderful Saturday. And we're gonna go over some really cool stuff. So I'm super excited. We'll give everyone a few minutes to trickle in here. But if you are already here, let me get the chat enabled for everyone. Attendees can chat with everyone. Okay, so the chat function is working. So if you are joining me today, type in the chat where you are tuning in from. I am coming to you live from Kansas City, Missouri area, specifically Lee Summit, if any of you guys know where that is, but coming to you from the Kansas City, Missouri area. Oh, Leslie's from Houston. I just moved here from Houston. Very cool. Norman, Oklahoma from Janine. Awesome. We have a little bit of rain going on. Martha says Baltimore, Maryland. Awesome. Okay. We've got San Antonio, Pakistan, Georgia, Southwest Florida. Ooh, San Diego. I love San Diego. Pearland or Pearland. I never know how to say that, but Stephanie, yes, I know exactly where that is. That was pretty close to me too. I always want to call it Pearland, but I think it's Pearland, right? I'm not sure. So very cool. I am super excited to chat with you guys today. Jennifer's from Colorado. Kelly's from Washington State. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. And for those of you that are already on as well, are all of you guys parents? Drop a number in the chat of how many kids you have. You guys, if you've been here before, you probably know I have 5. Oh, Tarek is from St. Thomas Virgin Islands. I love that. Michigan. Kadisha's got no kids yet. All right. Maybe fur babies. We have 3 cats and 1 cat just had kittens. 2 kids, no kids yet. 2 kids, 2 kids, 4, 5, and 1 on the way, Jennifer. Wow, amazing. I love that. I have 5 too, and none on the way, thank goodness. Awesome. Salt Lake City, Azaria has 4 kids. Michael has 3 fur babies. Awesome. Stephanie has 2 kids. Dave is from Orlando with 4 kids. Amanda has 3 grown kids. Catherine also has 5. Fantastic. Awesome. I'm so glad that you guys joined me today. I'm super excited to dive in with you, and feel free to stop me at any time during this and let me know what questions you have, because this entire call can be very interactive and I want to be able to answer all of your questions and highlight and show you guys exactly how you can reach your goals by starting your own bookkeeping business from home. So I'm excited to dive in. It's right up 10 o'clock Central Time. So I'll go ahead and start, and then I'm sure more people are going to be trickling in here over the next 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to share my screen and let me know when you guys can see it. And we will get the chat. I'm going to get the chat going up here so I can see that. And then I'll go over this here shortly, but if you guys have questions, the best place to post them, if you want to make sure that I see them, would be in the Q&A feature. So I'll show you where to find that here in a second. Awesome. Everyone sees it. Video's good. Great. That is great. All right. So let's dive in and get started here. Don't think I'm going to move my screens around here a little bit so I can see everything. Okay, so welcome again to our webinar. I really appreciate you guys joining me this morning, and I'm really excited to dive in and show you the road here to business ownership and being able to work from home, or you can work from the RV, you can work from wherever, you can work from the Virgin Islands, and achieve your personal goals when it comes to not only financial, but also location and time preferences as well. And Martha asked, will the recording be available after the call? And yes, absolutely, it will be available to you. I am also going to be available every Thursday and Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time if you need to pop back on and watch it live and ask more questions again at that time. So For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tiffany Higgins. I'm a CPA and a mom of 5. I founded the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy after experiencing all the wonderful things that happened to my family since starting my at-home bookkeeping business back in 2015. I was able to work part-time from home, growing my business, but I also at the time had a 6-month-old and 2 elementary school age children. And I was able to grow my business fairly easy and quickly, even without that going on. So much so that my husband was also able to quit his job within about 7 months of me creating my LLC. So it happened relatively fast in the grand scheme of things. I actually had brought in enough client money to cover all of our bills at the time. And he actually got to retire on Christmas Eve of 2015, which was a really awesome Christmas present for our family. But since then, I was also able to continue to have a thriving business as I brought twins into the world. I decided to homeschool my older children. We actually moved to a different city and upgraded our house. And all this time, I was nursing my twins for 2 years as well. And I was still able to continue to organically grow my business. Didn't really have to do hardly any marketing at all during that time. And I was still able to balance all of my family duties, being there for my kids every second that they needed me, all that awesome stuff. So type a yes in the chat if you would love to work from home with these reduced hours, but more money coming in, but also be available for your family anytime they need you. So type a yes if that's something that you're looking for. Awesome. Amanda says yes. Claire says yes. Janine says yes. David says yes. Awesome. It sounds too good to be true, but I'm going to show you guys exactly how that happened for my family and how we've been helping thousands of other families achieve these same results through our Bookkeeper Academy. So I then hired a team member once I got to that point of like, having a ton of clients. And I decided to bring on a team member, and she actually gave me the idea of starting the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy. So I decided to sell my bookkeeping business, which is a really cool thing. I'll share more about that later. But I decided to dive full speed ahead into this new venture. And I've been running this Bookkeeper Academy since April of 2019. And so since then, we've made over $10 million helping families work less and make more and build virtual recession-proof business that is in high demand. Let's see. So here at the Bookkeeper Academy, again, our mission is to empower people to become financially independent without sacrificing connectivity with their families by offering the education and framework to launch their own bookkeeping business from home. So this is our official mission statement for our company, but our motto, the big reason why we're here is so you can have your cake and eat it too. We basically want you guys to be able to have the kind of money that you're looking for your family, but be able to control when and how and where you work so that way you can put your priorities in line the way you want to. And you can be there for your kids, for your family, whatever's going on in your life, you have a hierarchy of priority, right? And just because you need to shift that to your family or whatever the case is, you shouldn't have to sacrifice your financial well-being to do so. So that's what we are here for, so you guys can have your cake and eat it too. Okay, so I am super curious here. I'm going to move this Zoom thing out of the way. Who all we have on our webinar today attending. So if you've been on a live webinar with me in the past, type a 1 in the chat. And if it's your first time here, type a 2. I want to kind of see who all we have here. Lots of 2s. Awesome. This is so great. So just so you guys know, since a lot of you guys are new, just let me know if you have any questions. I see some coming in the Q&A, so keep them coming. I love questions. Welcome back, Vera. Awesome. Welcome back, Michael. And welcome all the new people. So everyone that's returning again, welcome back and I love that you're getting more comfortable with the idea of becoming a business owner. And for everyone that is new, welcome to our webinar. We are going to go over lots of information here. I'm going to stay on until all the questions are answered. If you guys have time to stay on with me at the end, I'll be happy to stay on. If you have to leave early though, that's okay. This will be recorded, and you are able, if you are able to stay to the end, I'm happy to continue to chat with you. Also, I'm going to be doing these webinars every Thursday and Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. So hop back on as many times as you need and feel ready to take the plunge, get all your questions answered so you are totally set. You can invite your friends, family members, or anyone else that you think will help you make this decision on starting your own business. Everyone is welcome to join. So feel free to share the link out as well. And some of you guys have already found this, but it's best if you want to post specific questions for me in the Q&A feature of this Zoom call so I can check them off, and that way I don't miss any. I'm very meticulous. That's probably the bookkeeper nature in me, so I don't want to miss anything. So don't be shy. Ask me anything that you're curious about when it comes to starting this business and how it will work for your family. Transparency is one of our core values here at the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy. So I want to be able to help clear up any question you have so you know exactly what this path to financial freedom could look like for your family. And David asked a question about health insurance in the chat. Stick that in the Q&A and I will definitely cover that here shortly. So I want to go over the agenda for today so you guys kind of know what to expect for this call. It can be as interactive as you prefer, so feel free to grab a pen and paper. We're going to go over goals and stuff if that's helpful for you. The first thing we're going to do is define your goals. And then we're going to determine a baseline of where you are, where you want to be. And then the next step I'm going to do is show you why a bookkeeping business is ideal for your family and how exactly you can utilize it to help you reach the goals that we just defined. That's going to be the meat of the call today, so you can walk away with some really great info to get your family game plan together. And then I'll start walking you through how our team can help you kickstart your business, build the foundation you need to carry this success into the future for years to come, whether you're an experienced bookkeeper or if you've never even heard of QuickBooks before. So we specialize in helping people from ground zero. And then lastly, I will go over investment options and our new guaranteed approval program that we are rolling out today, actually, where 100% of everyone will be approved to join our program on the smallest payment plan that we've ever offered before. So I just found out last week, we have a really awesome funding company that we've been utilizing, but in the past, they would only approve people for our program if they had good credit utilization and things like that, and a good credit score. But now it doesn't matter because of the success of our program and how successful our students are. This company has decided to go ahead and approve the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy to offer 100% guaranteed approval programs. So I'll show you here at the end how you can apply for that and be able to get started on our program as early as like Wednesday of next week. So really, really exciting. It's a totally new thing that we just found out about last week that we got approved for, and I'm excited to pass that down and share that with you guys. So drop a fire emoji in the chat if you are ready to get started on this awesome webinar journey. While you guys are doing that, I'll take a glance at some of these questions. And Jennifer, there is no cost to join this webinar, but of course we are an online school. We are an online coaching community. So there are fees to and an investment into, starting your business off. Yes. And I'll go over all of that shortly. All right. Love the fire emojis. Yay. Okay, let's get started. So I want to get to know a little bit about you guys, but also help you set some goals for your family and a roadmap of how to reach them. So I'm going to go over some different items and we'll work on setting these specific goals. That way you can map out exactly how the bookkeeping business will help you reach those goals and also give you the exact timeline for how quickly you can do so. So it's really great when you start a business to kind of have some goals because you want complete clarity on what to expect should you decide to move forward with starting a bookkeeping business. So drop a thumbs up in the chat if you guys are ready to talk about your goals. All right. Okay. Awesome. So thumbs up, thumbs up. Great. We're going to start with financial goals because that is the most important thing that needs to be changed first. You need to get your finances under control and get yourself to a position where you can cover everything financially with your business, and then the other goals will kick in. So we're going to start these and we're going to put them into 3 different goals. The first one that I want to talk about is a bare minimum goal. This is a basic goal that you would want to hit to give yourself confidence that you are on the right path and basically establishing proof of concept for this business for your family. So, for example, for me, back in 2015, my bare minimum goal was about $2,000 a month. Back then, I was making about $3,500 per month after taxes at my CPA job. But once my 3rd child was born, I started paying a nanny, and I was paying her $1,500 a month to watch my kids while I was gone. So I knew to break even there, I really only needed about $2,000 a month. Obviously, I wanted to make more than that because that was hard for my family to take that big $1,500 monthly cut into our finances. But I knew if I at least could get to the 2,000 per month, I would be fine for a while. So that was my goal number 1, my bare minimum goal. For you, it could be the bare minimum you would need to make in your business to cover maybe your portion of the family expenses for the month, like groceries, gas, making all of your monthly commitments on time, something like that. So type in the chat, what is your ballpark number that you would want to make in your bookkeeping business that would allow you to start pivoting away from whatever undesirable situation you're currently in? So for me, I knew if I got that $2,000 a month, I could quit my job. I actually quit my job before and then I worked on this, but I knew that I would be safe. I wouldn't have to go back and get another job if I could at least hit that $2,000 a month. So Jessica says 3,500. Awesome. 5,000 for Kelly. Azara says 5,000, 5,000, 2,000, 6,500. Hey, Brian. 3,000 for Mohid. 4,000, 5,000. All right. 3,000 to move back and help my mom. Awesome. Okay. 5,000, 2 to 3,000. Okay, great. So as you guys can see, it's a little bit different for everybody. Everyone that comes into our academy have slightly different goals. And I will tell you, they shift and change as you start to see success. You start to see, you start to develop lots of different goals because your mind opens up like to the possibilities. But this is a great start. So write that down as your goal number 1, that's really what you would need to get started before you could really start making some awesome headway to your other goals. So now for goal number 2, you'll want to write this down as goal number 2. This one would be like your comfortable and content goal. This would be like where you're kind of worry-free. You don't have to worry about budgeting every penny. You don't have to worry about checking, prices of strawberries or eggs or whatever. You don't have to worry about if you want to go out to dinner with a family on a whim. So what would that monthly amount be for your family? Type goal number 2 in the chat. For my family, it was around about $5,000 to $6,000 a month at the time. And that would have allowed me to cover all of our basic expenses and our normal grocery amount. Obviously, I would wanted to have more, but this would allow my husband to quit his job and I wouldn't have to worry about like losing our house or getting behind on any of our bills. So for us at the time, it was around 5,000 to 6,000. That was obviously back in 2015. So it was a little less, but so yeah, we've got 5, 7,500, 10,000, 5 to 7,500, 6,000. Great. Janine needs 4,000. Fantastic. Awesome. So keep that in mind. And we can keep going. 10,000 a month for Azaria for goal number 2. Awesome. Okay, so goal number 3 is going to be your wow goal. So this is one that would allow you to start reaching some of your family's financial goals and like bucket list items. So what do you think you would actually need to bring in each month to really start making some of those things a reality? So for us, it was exceeding the 10,000 $10,000 per month mark. And from there, we were able to buy a new car. We were also able to pay it off super early. We were able to take an extended vacation without worrying about money really at all. So type in the chat. I see some of you guys are already doing that. What is your goal number 3? Mohid said 15,000. Amanda says 10 to 15,000. Sandy says 10,000. Derek says 10 to 15. Jessica says 25. Awesome. You guys have really great goals. I love this. And I'm so excited to show you how quickly you can reach these goals. And even if it's not super quick, how sustainable it is to keep it at this. 20K to purchase investments. Yes, I love that. I'm going to talk about that too. So this is really helpful to work out your bookkeeping business plan. So thank you guys so much for sharing your goals. Keep those in mind as we keep moving forward here. So the next goal that I like to focus on is time goals. We have a lot of clarity of our financial goals now, but what do you guys want to get out of your time and your schedule? So type in the chat, calculate this up before you do, but how much do you currently work right now per week? And I would include all the hours that you are away from home or away from your family if you do work outside of the house. So include the commute, all that jazz. I was gone about 40 hours a week because I worked like 5 minutes from my house, which was nice. But my husband was commuting to downtown Kansas City and fighting traffic. So he was typically gone about 60 hours a week. So, I mean, between the two of us, it was about 100 hours a week of work. And at that time, we were making, after tax, we were bringing home like $7,000 a month. So that was 100 hours. So type in the chat how many hours that you currently work and are away from family. So yeah, we've got a lot here. So Alucina says 40, David says 50, Azaria says 50, Jessica says 30, Crystal says 40, Tariq says 67, 50, 50. Janine says currently a stay-at-home mom, but attending school. So calculate, your school. School takes a lot of time as well. And it's a future payoff. Derek says 65 hours a week. Kelly's 45 to 55. All right. Jennifer says none right now, but when I was working, it was 40 to 50. Okay, yeah, great idea. Think about if you aren't working, if you're staying at home or you're in between jobs, what would it be like if you did get a job and you did reach your financial goals? How much would you have to work? Brian says 60 to 85 a week, New York City life. Ouch. Yeah. We can definitely take that hustle, apply it to your business, and then reach your financial goals and then slow down. Yes. 65 plus, including travel, Alicia. Ouch. Okay. That's a lot. Okay, guys, thank you so much. So, in a perfect scenario now, like picture, what would you like your life to be like? How many hours per week would you prefer to work? So type that preference in the chat and write that down on your paper too, but type that in the chat. What would you prefer to work? This is different for everybody, and it's totally dependent on what your personal situation is right now. So I'd love to be able to compare that. So Tariq says she prefers to work around 30 to 35 hours. That's very manageable. David says 20. Paulette says 30. Crystal and Jennifer say 20. Azaria wants to work just when her kids are in school. Yes, that's what I tend to do for the most part as well for my schedule. And it is awesome because then you can just be a mom when they're home all the time. I love it. 20 hours a week, 30, just while the kids are in school. Derek says, I don't mind 30 to 40, but option of taking days and times off would be everything. Absolutely. Yes. Having that flexibility where you can work more if you want, but then be able to pull back if you don't want to work that much one week. Yes. And I'll explain how I did that here shortly too. Keep in mind with a bookkeeping business, you're going to get to choose the time of day, the day of the week that you want to work. You can even change it up from week to week. It's super flexible because bookkeeping is something that's typically done on a monthly rotating basis. So you have a lot of flexibility to be able to design your own schedule from day to day, week to week, and even month to month. It's really awesome. But these numbers are all important, so make sure you guys remember them, write them down. Yes, Claire, I agree. Derek's answer is fire, for sure. That's exactly what this business is going to do for you guys. So keep these answers all down. Yep. Okay. Lastly, let's chat a minute about location freedom goals, because this is another really awesome benefit of having an online business, is being able to work from wherever you want. Mohammed says, once money starts rolling in, the dopamine won't let me stop. Well, if you are super motivated by money, you probably will work a lot in your bookkeeping business, but you will make more money than you have ever made in the past if you choose to work like that. The other good thing, Mohit, about that is you can also hire a team that can help you, that can work under you, so they can actually do the day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month stuff. And then you can continue working on marketing and having discovery calls with people, bringing in more cash. And so that's where the, the dopamine levels can keep getting fed. So I love that. That's hilarious. Yeah, some people do find that. Some people do find that they actually work more when they have a bookkeeping business because they love it, because they're building something for themselves and for their future. And every minute that you work in your business benefits you now and long term. So it sometimes for people doesn't even feel like work anymore. So that's what's cool about it. But you do have the flexibility to keep it at a steady state. So for example, when I did my business at the beginning, I really enjoyed some of the marketing stuff. I didn't think I would at first because I'm an extreme introvert, but I really enjoyed making connections with people and knowing that I was helping them with their books, and it took a big weight off of them. So I really enjoyed that part. But then when I got pregnant with the twins, I did not have the energy to go out of the house all the time or even just sit at the computer for long periods of time. So I didn't do any extra work. And I was able to like get by through that whole pregnancy, working like 10 to 15 hours a week and being able to cover all of our bills and then some, and not having to really worry. So you have that flexibility to turn it on and off whenever you want, which is really cool. And it can be all based on your personality, your preferences, your goals, whatever you want to do. And we all know as our kids grow that those things change. I had no plans on sending my kids to elementary school, but they all wanted to go this year. And my twins are kindergarten age and they decided to go and they are having fun and wanted to go. So here I am all in a situation now where I have 0 out of 5 kids home all day. So now I want to work a little bit more. It's fun. And I now have more time on my hands to be able to do that. So, but when they were here, when I was homeschooling them over the last few years, I didn't have extra time. So I chose to keep my business where it is, you know? So anyway, you guys will hear all about that soon. So if you have a desire to work from home, or maybe even work from another location or multiple locations, or from your RV or from the road, type that in the chat. Where do you want to work from? And do you have any travel plans that you would like to accomplish in the near future that you haven't really been able to do because of restrictions from your job? So type in the chat, where do you want to work from? So Crystal says from home, from home. Awesome. And Paulette says she wants to work overseas to help care for a relative. Awesome. I love that. And Jessica says, no wonder we haven't seen much of your marketing lately. Well, yes. I go in flows, you know, like sometimes I work a lot and I hit it like crazy. And if I have a goal that I want to meet, and then sometimes I want to focus on my family. So that's just what I do. Hey, Brooke, good to see you on here. And let's see, Crystal says, would love to travel. Brooke wants to go to every national park. So she wants to work from her RV. That is so exciting. Bali, Indonesia, Jamaica. I'm going to Jamaica in a few weeks. I'm so excited, Kadisha. You currently work as a full charge bookkeeper. Awesome. We can help you transition those skills to actually getting paid what you're worth. So how exciting. Virgin Islands, Georgia. Yes. RV traveling for Brian. I love it. And the cool thing about the RVs is you can wrap your RV for your business name. And most of the people that are at the RVs, they also own online businesses. So it's a really cool place to get new clients. So you can actually like get clients while you're on the road, traveling and working and having fun. It's great. Okay. So let's keep going. This is always fun too. Are there any other goals you have for yourself or your family that you'd like to achieve that we haven't talked about yet? Some really common ones that I see my students accomplishing all the time is paying off debt, like becoming debt free and, achieving that goal, because that makes you feel really free when you don't have any debt. I've seen so many of our students accomplish that, even ones that had huge student loan debts. I had this one student a while back, and her husband went to chiropractor school, and I think he went for like a long time. So he got some like extra degree in it, and he had 160,000 of student loan debt from going there. And she was a stay-at-home mom of five no, four kids. She homeschooled her four kids, and she was able to she used 100% of her bookkeeping business money to just pay off his student loans in like less than 2 years. It was incredible. So paying off debt is a really great one. I've seen a lot of students buy their dream house, people that had been renting for most of their life and had always wanted to own a house, bought $500,000 houses, like been able to buy their dream home, which is really exciting. And then, of course, a lot of you had mentioned investing, being able to invest. Sometimes when you work at a W-2 job and you don't have control over the money coming in, you can't really do much with it, except maybe do like a 401k or something. But there's other ways to invest to save for retirement and things. And a lot of people like to do that, buy rental properties, things like that. I love that. So and for us, for example, to celebrate my 1-year anniversary in my bookkeeping business in June of 2016, we bought a brand new van, and I completely paid it off within about 6 months. It was $45,000 at the time, which I wish the prices were like that now. But only living off my bookkeeping business income solely for our family. So my husband wasn't working. It was just our bookkeeping business. Bought and paid off this car in a very short time. We actually still drive that car today. So if you're around Kansas City area, you'll see me zooming around in that. But then we also took took our kids on a 16-day vacation across the country. We stopped in Estes Park, Mission Beach, and the Grand Canyon. And we used that van and we loaded it all up and we drove around. And this was the first time I actually ever got to go on a vacation, because prior to that, your job kind of dictates when you have time off. But if you have your own business, you dictate it. Now, for me, since we wanted to be gone for so long, I took my laptop with me and I did the bare minimum of bookkeeping I could. I did a little bit extra before we left, and I caught up when we got home, and I just did the few like bare minimum things while we were gone. So I really enjoyed this vacation. It was really awesome. And then, of course, in 2018, we used our bookkeeping business income to buy a new house because we wanted a pool, and it had a tennis court, and it was a little bit bigger house because we had twins and a family of 7. So type in the chat, what are some of the big ticket items like this that you guys are looking forward to accomplishing if you had more money coming in? So Kelly says, pay off creditor debts, take more classes. I like that. Pay off debt, becoming debt free and taking vacations, save for grandbabies, visit ministries and donate money. I love that. Pay off debt and invest, and also finish building my house. That's great. Awesome. Invest in my kids' future so they don't start off creating debt. I love that. Yes, my 18-year-old just started some college classes this semester. I paid for it in full. We don't have to take out student loans. They're not going to start their life with student loans. Buy a house for my dad. Ooh, beach home, Amanda. I'm right there with you. That sounds great. Michael says, pay off debt and get a place with a guest house. I love that. Help the animals, be debt free, start a family. That's great. Families are expensive, so that's good to get this going and started before you have that. It would be easier for you. Pay off student loans, buy the RV that I will travel in. I also want an electric car and solar panels. Very cool. Very cool. Design degree investment portfolio. I love that. Debt-free and able to travel more, invest in business, pay off debt, save for kids' future, upgrade to a bigger house and a mother-in-law apartment. Yes, I did that too last year. Cool. All right, awesome. So now I'm going to dive into the real meat of it. So this is exactly how a bookkeeping business can help you reach these goals that you guys have outlined and got me so excited about. So I'm going to give you the exact roadmap to getting there. This will give you complete clarity on what this process looks like and the timeline on how quickly you can reach these various goals we just talked about. This webinar is going to be recorded again, but stick around with me because I'm going to answer all of your questions, and I keep them coming. We've got 10 questions in the Q&A, so feel free to keep posting in there. And then I'll show you guys too how to take advantage of our 100% guaranteed approval process that we just got approved for. So the first thing I want to go over is the average time it takes our students to reach various levels of consistent, reoccurring, dependable monthly income in their business. So this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This is building a super sustainable business that provides consistent monthly income that grows every time you get a new client. You don't have to hustle for new customers all the time. Once you get them, they stay. It's consistent. It's reoccurring. There are other ways you can earn money in your bookkeeping business, like cleanup jobs where you get a big payout right at the beginning, and then the monthly income comes along with it. You can also get commission income, payroll income, things like that. That's not even included on this chart. So this is very conservative because I just want to show you guys what it's like with your monthly consistent income that you can count on. The other stuff fluctuates too much, and that's the kind of things that I have people utilize those big fluctuations to hit the bucket list items or dump it in their savings or dump it on debt. But this is what you need to know to count on for your monthly reoccurring dependable income. Okay. So I want to be super conservative, paint this realistic picture of the time frame you can expect. So this is even if you don't add any more clients in a future month, this money will still keep coming in. So typically what we see from our students is that they add around, on average, $1,000 of monthly income to their business for every month they're in business. So for example, if you had your first goal was like $2,000 per month like mine, it usually takes our students about 2 months to get there. So if you started today, before Thanksgiving, you're already going to be at the $2,000 per month mark. Obviously it fluctuates a little bit depending on each person, but if your second goal, let's say like mine was around 5,000, then by February-ish, you're going to be at your second goal, and 10,000, by the time mid to late summer, you're going to be making $10,000 a month. And this is just kind of growing at a slow, manageable pace. This chart currently shows our average student, and our average student already works full-time, like a lot of you, working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. And they also have little kids at home, activities, things like that. So that's the pace you can expect if that is your situation. Now it's going to be a lot quicker if you happen to have more time available to focus on growing your business in the beginning. Or if you decide to quit your job and dive into this at any stage during your business, you're obviously going to hit these goals faster. And then during tax season, we see our students blow past this timeline as well. And that usually hits around September, October, like right around now, and then again in January through April. So we see students getting a lot of clients in those other months as well, but it tends to pick up during the tax seasons stuff as well. So based on this, can you type in the chat, how quickly would you be able to be at your, let's say, your comfortable and content goal? Can you guys figure that out based on what your goals were? What date? Let's look at the dates. So if you wanted to make $5,000 a month, that would be February. So Azaria says in 5 months, Amanda says 5 months, 8 months. Okay, awesome. December 15th. Yes, 3 months, David. That's great. You can get there quick. And again, this is just your dependable reoccurring income. There's a lot more money to make when you get new clients. And I'm going to show you all about cleanup jobs here shortly. So we'll dive into that. So people always ask me, how many clients will I actually need to make that much money? So for your first goal, let's say it's $2,000 a month, you're going to need approximately 4 super small clients, only 4. If your comfortable goal is 5,000, you're going to need 10 clients. And maybe if your wow goal is $10,000 a month, you're going to need about 20. So that is assuming that every client you get is pretty small, that's pretty typical. A lot of small businesses every small business needs a bookkeeper, but a lot of the ones that need bookkeepers are small businesses. So you probably will need close to these numbers of clients. But some of our students get larger clients, and that would just mean you would need less of them to reach your income goals, right? So, for example, Kim in our academy last year, she got a new client last December. It was her first client. That client paid her $2,200 per month. So instead of 4 clients to hit her first milestone, she only needed 1. When I had my bookkeeping business, I was making $20,000 per month. So here at the bottom tier, but instead of the 40 clients, I only had 33. So you can kind of get a feel for what the typical range is. But in order for you guys to hit your very first goal number 1, type in the chat how many clients that you would need. So type that in real quick. For me, it was 4 super small clients. Okay, Bristol needs 10, Amanda 10, Zaria 10, David 6, Katrina 20, Mohid 6, Derek 10, Karen 5, Jennifer 4, Kelly 10, 4, 8. Awesome. Okay, great. So now I want to show you what the potential client pool is like. This picture shows that there were 33.2 million businesses in existence in 2022. I'll be updating on this chart after this year ends in a couple months, but this was from the SBA.gov website for all the businesses that were in existence last year. And as you can see, it grew steadily over the last 6 years, all these, the bars going up, right? And in fact, there are over 500,000 small businesses starting up every month, 500,000 a month. And bookkeepers and CPAs are retiring in droves, and there's not really that many people to replace them because there's been a huge decline in people interested in getting accounting degrees. And that's really due to the low pay and the long hours during tax season. For me, I got my accounting degree, then I had to go back and get extra credit hours to be able to be eligible for the CPA exam. Then I spent 18 months studying for and passing the CPA exam. And then I had to work in a CPA firm to get experience. And even after all of that, I was still only making like $20 an hour. And so, I mean, it's low pay, and during tax season, it's brutal. You work a lot, and that honestly hasn't changed. We have people that join our academy sometimes that are CPAs, or they're leaving CPA jobs, and that's what they're still making, $4,500, $5,000 a month, and working all of that. So the interest that people have in going into fields like that is low. So I'm saying that because clients are literally everywhere, and there's never going to be a shortage of potential clients for you, and never enough bookkeepers out there to help everyone. So you'll never have to worry about competition. You'll never have to worry about like running dry with clients. There are tons of fish in the sea. What also helps our situation is that bookkeeping is a required service. It's not a luxury item that you have to try and convince someone to purchase. So if you're selling like, Mary Kay or some kind of like MLM or any type of product, you have to sell it to people. You have to sell yourself. But bookkeeping, that isn't something that you have to do because they need it. A lot of times clients are just basically begging for help. So you don't even have to be good at selling, and you don't have to sell yourself. It's literally a required thing. Every business has to have it done, whether they try to do it themselves or they realize they can't and they want to hire someone. They already know they need it. They already understand the value of bookkeeping. So finding and getting these clients is relatively easy. And of course, we walk you through how to find the clients, and I'll show you all about that on an upcoming slide. But I would love to know, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you think getting the number of clients that you have listed here based on the potential client pool is going to be easy for you. I'm going to show you how, but do you feel like it's doable? Thumbs up if you feel like acquiring the number of clients that you need to reach your goals is doable. All right. Yes, absolutely doable. Okay, good. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Great. And now while you guys are doing that, now for my favorite slide of this entire presentation, this is the expected time commitment that you need to make to complete the bookkeeping work for these clients at various income levels. So as Mohid talked earlier, you can work a lot in your business and dump a ton of time into the academy. I mean, sorry, not the academies. I read Brooke's comment, into marketing and growing your business, but you don't have to once you reach your levels that you want to stay at. So once you hit these different total monthly income amounts, these are the hours that it's going to take you to do the bookkeeping work. So when I decided I didn't want to work after I had my twins, I literally did the bare minimum here, and that's it. And this was the hours I dropped down to. So if your first goal is $2,000 a month, you'd only have to work 4 hours per week to complete the bookkeeping work for those clients. That's all it takes. So if your second goal is, 5,000, you're going to be working 10 hours a week. So type in the chat, how many hours per week would you save if you only had to work the number of hours to reach your goal? So if you're making $5,000 right now and you're working 60 hours, you're going to save 50. So type in the chat, how much time will you save if you're working a lot, or if you had to go get a job? How much time would you save if you did your bookkeeping business instead? Mohid says, absolutely pumped up for 20K. All right. So Amanda would save 40 hours. Karen would save 45. And Lucina, is it 4 hours per week per client, or it's 4 hours for all the clients? So you would be able to get all 4 clients done in 4 hours per week. So on average, it would take you like 4 to 5 hours total per month per client. So Laura said she would save 40. Crystal saves 30. Azaria and Kelly saves 30. Man, Azaria, you could spend so much more time with your kids saving 30 hours a week. Paulette says 40. David says, I now have a new goal, 25. Tariq says 57 hours saved. Amanda says, I am so all in, 45 hours a week. Brian says 50 plus. Oh my goodness. 36 hours saved for Alucina, 30 and 22 for Jennifer and Jessica. Awesome. So like, imagine for a minute, if you had all that time back, you can spend it with your family. You can pick up a hobby. Recently, I started playing the piano and the drums just for fun, because like I mentioned earlier, I'm in a season of wanting to like just have fun, And so I started learning how to play the drums. I'm taking drum lessons. I'm taking piano lessons. It's so fun. You can pick up a hobby like that, enjoy life more, go bike riding, things like that. Or you can have a season of your life where you reinvest some of that extra time back into your business, so you can hit goal 2 and goal 3, and then create new goals for yourself that you can hit. So you'd be able to knock off some of those bucket list items. Maybe you guys want to travel like out of the country, or buy a new house, or pay off all the debt, right? So Azaria said, I'd chaperone every field trip. I love that. I love that. That's so great. We're going to the pumpkin patch next week, and I'm going to go with my kids. It's great. I love that. Ooh, a food forest. Oh, you should talk to my mom, Tariq. She knows all about food forests. She never stops talking about food forests. Okay. So, even at your WOW goal, like let's say your WOW goal is $10,000 a month, you still would only have to work like a half of a full-time job and no commute, because your desk is right there. My desk is actually in my bedroom, so I can roll out of bed and just come over here and work. So I even save the time of like not really having to get up and get dressed and get ready and all that kind of stuff, which is great. Okay. Yeah. So, and you can structure these hours based on this chart, how many hours you have, figure out how would you fit that into your daily schedule. For those of you that want to make it just where your kids are in school, you can literally work like 9 to 2 or whatever every single day. Or you can get up early. I'm definitely not a morning person, but I have some students that like to get up early, sometimes like 4 or 5 o'clock, or even just 6 o'clock. And they work for like 2 or 3 hours before their kids get up, and they get the majority of their work done before they even wake up, which is amazing. I'm not a morning person. I cannot do that. I stay up late, so I tend to do that. But it's great because it can accommodate whatever personality and lifestyle that you have. So it's really awesome. And it's something, again, like I mentioned, you can change it up every week. If one week you're feeling like getting up early, get up early. And then if the next week you're like, wow, I'm way too tired, I'm not getting up early like that again, don't do it. It's great. You can change it. You can change it all up. I love it. So here's a little recap of all the slides with all the data that we just went over. So feel free, if you want to screenshot this, you can definitely do that. I know a lot of times when you guys are making the decision to hop into this, you like to discuss it with a significant other, a family member, a spouse, or whatever. Feel free to send them this recording so they can watch it with you. Feel free to show them these charts, talk it through, come back again, ask me questions. I'm always available to help walk you through it. But this is an important part, this next part, because we've been talking about all the awesome benefits and everything that you can accomplish. But once you guys hop off this call and then you start talking to other people, then you're like, wait a minute, this is like too good to be true. Like, how does this actually work? So I'm going to break it down and explain the science behind why this bookkeeping business can provide you the results that I just showed you on the previous slide. But I'm curious, type a yes in the chat if you feel like, at this point, you're like, wow, this is perfect, but too good to be true. Does anybody type a yes if you feel a little bit, skeptical maybe, or you can't really understand how this could be possible? This whole webinar is so motivational and raising my vibration levels. Awesome. Thank you. I love it. I love to help people feel better in every aspect, financially overall, but even if you can just be in a happier mood today, then that I feel like I've won. So thank you. I really appreciate that feedback. Yes, always skeptical. Great. So it's great to come into things with thinking about it, like, does this really make sense? You don't want to be too skeptical because you don't want to close your eyes or your mind to like opportunities, but it should be something that you vet, right? You should understand this from start to finish. There's going to be a lot that you don't know when you start your business, and you're going to be taking a leap of faith. You're going to be jumping into something, right? But I want you to fully understand what you're jumping into. So, hope is a great medicine. Yes, it is. Hope and goals and looking forward to things. I love it. Okay, so let me dive in and show you guys exactly how this works. And then I want to know at the end of that if you guys understand it now, if it makes sense with the science behind it. So, there are a few key pillars that make these results possible. The first and most important step is proper quoting process. So obviously, you have to understand when you have a bookkeeping business how to charge people. Because if you undercharge or you undervalue your services, then you're not developing that part of the business that can actually lead to financial freedom. And you would in fact then be creating another job for yourself, which would harbor resentment and all those kinds of things. So, and not help you reach your goals. So it's really important to follow the proper quoting that we teach in our Bookkeeper Academy so you can get crystal clear on exactly how to charge potential clients. It is not something that people just automatically know. You don't automatically know it. And I will say that depending on where you're coming from, your background, I grew up really poor. Like when I was a kid, we had our gas and electric shut off all the time. I was on free lunch, those kinds of things. When depending on your background and where you came from, you're going to have thoughts about money in your mind that's just ingrained in you. And one of the things that we really help with in the academy not only is like how to charge clients, but how to get your mindset around like, this is appropriate. This is an appropriate fee for the services that you're going to be providing for them. And we have based it on, years and years of practice and research and things like that. We know the businesses can afford it as well. So it's a fair, awesome price, but it does allow you to grow a really awesome business. And having that learning about quoting and learning about what is correct, but then also getting your mindset around, the proper mindset around money is what we really help you with in the academy as well. So that you feel 100% confident with the prices that you're charging. And those prices are right in line with the results that I've been sharing with you in the previous slides. So in our academy, just so you guys know, we help you with every single quote. So every time you get a new client, we'll literally walk you through what that quote should be. And then over time, it takes practice. So over time, you quote 10, 15, 20 people, you're going to get that down and it's going to become second nature. So that's the first key pillar of how this works and why this works. But the second one goes hand in hand, and it's just as important, and it's learning how to do the work properly and efficiently in the right workflow. So we work with you to show you how to streamline doing the bookkeeping with each individual client. So that way you're not doing things that are unnecessary or busy work, and you're only doing the things that your client is going to need and get the most value from. We also help you protect yourself and your energy and your space from what we call client scope creep, where maybe they're asking you to do something that really wasn't included in the bookkeeping services engagement. And so we help you either upsell them into additional services, or we help you, craft a nice response to, hey, I'd really love to help you with that, but that's not really what I do, or something like that. So, but we also help you streamline exactly how to do the bookkeeping work day to day, month to month, and even cleanup jobs. So those two things hand in hand, when you price properly and you can do the work efficiently, that is what is going to help you get these results. And the results that I shared with you is basically what you're going to be making is about $100 an hour. When you break it down, money coming in, time going out, it ends up being about $100 an hour on monthly reoccurring work. But when you do cleanup jobs and you can batch, you can be even more efficient. If you do, let's say you're doing a whole year's worth of bookkeeping for someone, you can batch it all together like at one time in one sitting. And most of our students make sometimes $200 to $250 an hour when they calculate the amount of money the client paid them and then the actual amount of hours that they put into getting it done. So this is also what's called value pricing. You are not going to be charging for the time that you're working anymore. You're going to be charging for the value that you're providing to these businesses. And that's how we help you with the quoting. And then as even over time, as you get better and quicker, because at first you're not going to know how to do it if you're brand new to bookkeeping and if you've never looked at QuickBooks. So you're going to be a little slower at first. I don't want you guys getting penalized for that. So you're going to charge them the same fee anyone else would, even if they're quicker. So as over time, as you guys get more efficient and quicker with doing the work, you're going to just make more than $100 an hour effectively, right? Does that make sense to everybody? Put a thumbs up if that makes sense. Tariq says, I have an open mind, but I have seen businesses that make tons of money for little time. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, good. Thumbs up. And again, if you guys have questions, specific questions too on that, feel free to drop them in the Q&A. Let's see. You guys have some great questions going on here. If you guys don't mind, I want to kind of save them a little bit because I think I'm going to, if I keep going in order, I think I'll answer most of them. Okay, so the other thing that really helps make this business exactly what you need to reach your goals is that we are going to help you build the business with the end in mind. So we know things that you don't necessarily know, potentially if you've never had a business, and you wouldn't even know to think about, like pre-plan. One of the things that stumps me up most of the time, like running this academy, is trying to stay ahead of things that I don't know and planning for the future. When you start your business, there's going to be a lot of things you don't know short term, but there's going to be a lot of things that maybe in 3 years you know, and you wish you would have known 3 years prior, right? I say that all the time. I really wish I would have known this 5 years ago. So that's how we help in the academy. We know the things that you are going to need to know in the future. And so we are teaching you how to build your business with those things in mind right from day one. So this will help with a couple different things. Number one, if you follow our proper quoting process, you have faith in that, and you follow our efficient workflow process and you get that down, this is going to help you build your business so that in the future, if you decide to have employees, you will not only be able to afford them, but you will also still have profit in your business after paying them. And that's what we want. We want you to build a business with the end in mind so that if you do have a goal someday to grow it to $50,000 a month, then you will be able to pay someone to do it, and you won't have to work, 150 hours a week to do that, right? So People may or may not have those goals when they first start out, but you never know, 2 to 3 years down the road, you may want to do that. It may look attractive to you. So the proper quoting and the proper workflow will help you sustain hiring full-time employees and still have a profitable business. So if we revisit this chart here again, you'll see if you look down 40 hours a week, if you hire somebody that is available to work for you 40 hours a week, they can handle doing the workload for clients that total $20,000 a month. But the going rate for a bookkeeper as an employee, or a staff accountant even as an employee, is around $5,000 a month. And that's good pay right now. So you can even pay them more if you wanted, but you'll be able to profit on average around $15,000 per month for every full-time employee you have on your team. So for example, if you work for a bookkeeping firm right now, or you work for a CPA firm, or really any job, this is what happens in their company. So the owner is maybe charging their clients $20,000 a month, paying you $5,000 a month to handle all the work, and the owner's pocketing 15. So obviously some of that 15 will go to various other little expenses that they may have and to save back for taxes and stuff, but it's minimal. They're getting a lot of that money and you're doing all the work. So as an owner of a bookkeeping business, you can flip that around and you get to be on the other side of it. So even as you hire team members, you'll still have a very healthy profit margin and a monthly income for your family, and still be able to maintain the schedule that you want and the work-life balance you desire. So what do you guys think about this? Thoughts? I'd love to know. Type in the chat if you would like to be the CEO of your own company, making the $15,000 per month while somebody else is working for you. And it can be really great and rewarding to hire people, because not everybody wants to be a business owner. You guys all do, or you wouldn't be here, right? You're interested in it, but not everybody is in that stage of their life. Some people want a $5,000 per month job, and that's all they want. And some people just need that, depending on where they're at in their life. And you would actually be able to have a company where you could offer to employ someone for a decent salary like that, where they could have flexibility and work from home. Derek says, I would love to hire people when I get to the 20K per month level. Awesome. You can employ your kids. That's what's great about this. Bookkeeping is not hard. Once you learn how to do it, it's not hard, and you can teach your kids how to do it. My son is actually doing our bookkeeping for our company, and he is going to start his own bookkeeping business. Claire says, I just left a staff accountant job at a CPA firm and was getting $24 per hour while they were charging $120 an hour for my time. Thank you, Claire, for showing the exact example. I appreciate that. And exactly, this is 100% what is happening. That's how you do business. And there's nothing wrong with the CPA firm. That's what they're supposed to do. But do you just want to be the 24-hour person still, or do you want to be the 120-hour person, right? So that's why I left my job at the CPA firm, because I was getting so homesick from not being around my third child, who was just born. And like I showed you guys on the earlier chart, I was paying a nanny $1,500 a month, but I was sitting at work and I was doing the bookkeeping work for all of my boss's clients. And I saw how long it took me to do the work, and I saw how much he was charging them. And I knew I only needed 3 or 4 clients, and I was going to be able to work like 3 or 4 hours a week. And that's exactly what happened. And I knew that because I already was experiencing that at my job. I was just stuck at that job for 40 hours a week. And I knew I didn't need to be. If I just took a slight risk and went out there and tried to find clients myself, and I did, faster than I ever thought. And I didn't have any help. You guys are going to have help. You're going to see the exact roadmap that I went through to get my clients. So you're not going to have to guess. I had to try a lot of things. I had to reinvent the wheel because I didn't have a coach or a program. I had to guess at it. But I have lined this all out for you guys. So it is literally following the steps. You can't fail. It's impossible. Paulette says, I'd love to hire my son and nephew. That's awesome. Oh, Janine says, the hubby and I want to do this together. I love that. Now that my twins have decided to go to kindergarten, my husband and I are going to be working nonstop together. It's going to be so fun. And he used to help me do the bookkeeping all the time, which is really great. It's awesome. Okay. And then there's one more thing I want to tell you guys about this business. And if you follow the proper quoting that we teach you and you follow the efficient workflow, you're building it with the end in mind for employees. But there's one other thing that you probably haven't thought of that we know that you will accomplish if you do it this way. And that is selling your business in the future. Maybe something that you never want to do, but it may be something that you do in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road. I see bookkeepers all the time giving away their clients because they have no idea how valuable their bookkeeping business is, but you guys do. And these businesses, if you set them up this way, they can actually over time begin to run without you. And if they run without you, they are so attractive, even if they're not completely running without you. When I sold my bookkeeping business, I was still the only person working in it. I had a part-time girl that came and helped me with admin stuff, but I was really the only one working in it. Of course, my husband and I were taking turns, but nonetheless, we didn't have a team and I was still able to sell it. But if you do grow it over time where you've got a team and you don't actually have to work in it, it's even more valuable. So bookkeeping businesses, if you set them up the way we teach, you're going to get anywhere from 1 to 2 times your annual revenue as a selling price, just depending on how big your business gets. So let's say you keep your business kind of small, you end up making $200,000 per year, and you're like, okay, I just want to sell this and open a food truck. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. Everybody's, got different goals, right? So you can actually sell your business for $200,000. And if you're making, let's say you grow your business over the next 3 or 4 years and you're making $1 million per year, you could potentially sell that business for close to 2 million. I had a friend that had a business where she was making $1 million in reoccurring revenue, and she was offered 2.2 million for someone to buy it. So really exciting. These businesses are really attractive to potential buyers or investors. And that's because of the consistent, dependable, reoccurring income that comes in every single month, the high profit margin, even after building a team, because there's really very little other expenses that you would have in a bookkeeping business since it's all remote and there's nothing to pay for. There's hardly anything to pay for besides like your email, stuff like that, a few software programs. And the owner or the CEO, which would be you in this scenario, isn't necessarily needed to run the business in order for it to still be wildly profitable. And investors love that. So we're also going to help you build this business with that in mind from day one. I have this student, her name's Lacey. I've interviewed her a few times. You'd have to dig through our social media, but Lacey went to a retreat with us in Key West about 1.5 years ago. Actually, I think we're coming up on a year. And her and I sat down and worked out a plan. Her and her husband are growing their bookkeeping business to reach 5 million, and then they want to sell it. And that is going to be their retirement plan. They are in their maybe early 60s right now, and they want to be able to just grow it and hustle the next few years and then sell it and go retire and travel and do nothing except fun stuff. So this business is also a potential retirement plan. So if you're going to be leaving a job that has like a 401k or something like that, just know that you're not trading that in for this. You're actually upgrading to a better retirement plan because businesses are so sellable. These businesses anyway, not all businesses, but the bookkeeping businesses are. If you guys Google, you can see that Forbes.com names a bookkeeping business in the top 3 of all businesses that are the most profitable that you can start, which is really cool. Yeah, Mohid says there's a lot of talent in accounting schools who want to earn and continue their studies. So to get them hired is my solution. I like that. Yes, you can hire accounting students, accounting graduates, maybe 18, 22-year-olds, 25-year-olds that aren't ready for their business. I didn't think about that when I was younger and I worked for somebody, and just like Claire working for somebody, right? Okay, so now it gets even more exciting from here, guys. There is one thing that I haven't even really dug into yet, and this is the back work and cleanup opportunities you have. So 9 times out of 10, when you get a new client, they are going to be behind in their bookkeeping, sometimes months, but a lot of times years in the past. And that's why they're looking for a bookkeeping help and bookkeeping services, because they are reaching that level of pain point where they have gone too long and they really need something in place. And back work and cleanup work is another income opportunity that you have. I haven't included it on any other slide yet because it's not necessarily reoccurring, and it varies from client to client because they could be behind 3 months, 10 months, 5 years, and they could be small, they could be big. So the income that you get from cleanup jobs is wildly different from client to client. So I haven't included it in any of the charts, which is exciting because now you guys can see what your opportunities are for like building up your savings, paying off debt, things like that with these, I like to call them sign-on bonuses. So here are the next few slides are a couple examples of students over the last year or so that have had some really nice cleanup jobs. Kim, I mentioned a little bit earlier, she joined back in October of 2022. So she's been in business almost a year now, but she landed her first client 6 weeks after starting our Bookkeeper Academy and launching her business. This client, like I mentioned earlier, was a little bit larger. So she was actually able to charge $2,200 per month to complete the ongoing monthly services. But once she started to dig into her books, we helped her realize that the previous bookkeeper didn't actually do the books right for the previous months of that year. So she needed to go back and fix things. So we were able to help her present those findings to her client and propose a $9,000 cleanup job. Her client gave her the go-ahead and just asked her to take it out of his account. And so on December 16th, less than 2 months after joining, she was able to actually make over $11,000 in her bookkeeping business. I mean, so that $9,000 she could just tuck right away, do whatever she wants with it, put it aside, pay off some debt, whatever. She was right on track at her, $2,000 per month mark in reoccurring revenue, right around 2 months in the academy, but she made the $11,000 in her first month. So that is something that is very common when you get new clients. Alicia is another example. She's in our academy still as well. She joined November 18th, so she's a little bit less than a year, 10 months, I guess, from her first year in business. She spent 3 weeks getting her business set up and ready to go. And then she launched her marketing plan and got her first client on December 15th, which she told us was only 4 days after she started our marketing plan. And so she got her first client in 4 days, but also the first client came in by her first month in business. And this client happened to be a medium-sized client. So she was able to charge a little bit more, $1,500 per month going forward. And they were behind 2 years in their bookkeeping. So she was able to charge an upfront fee of $6,000 to get them caught up. So right in line with the reoccurring revenue by her first month in business, but she actually was able to bring in about $7,500. So there's a really massive opportunity for some quick wins and quick income as well as you guys are taking your time building up that reoccurring revenue. So this is what helps you guys be able to pivot away from those undesirable situations, maybe leave those jobs a little bit ahead of schedule because you'll have the cleanup jobs coming in. And these two cleanup jobs are on, I would say like on the medium to medium high side as far as like how much you can get. I see a lot of $1,500, $1,800, $4,000 cleanup jobs. And then you'll see some that are 6, 9, 10 here and there. And then on the rare occasion, you'll see one like Jennifer. Jennifer started about 13 months ago, August 12th, 2022. It's just been incredible, but she found a client that was so far behind, she was able to charge them $32,000. Insane. And Jennifer, just so you know, all three of these ladies, they had zero experience, zero. So we helped them quote, we helped them find these clients, we helped them do the work after they got paid, right? By the way, we do teach you guys how to get paid prior to doing the work. So you're never in a situation where you have to chase people down for money. So we show you how to do that too. But anyway, she was able to charge this client $2,200 ongoing, but the $32,000 cleanup job. I did interview her on my podcast, which is on my YouTube channel. And she did say that she broke that out into payments over like 4 to 5 months, I believe. So she didn't get it all in 1 month, but she definitely did bill out $34,000 in her 4th month in business. So for some of you guys, like, even if you only got like these 4 clients and you got a cleanup job like that, you're set for the whole year. If you really didn't want to work anymore, right? You would be totally set, which is incredible. And it took Jennifer about 4 months or so to actually work through this cleanup job. And she did it sparingly. We helped her set good expectations with her client where it's like, okay, you're going to work a little bit on this. You got to get some questions answered from them, or maybe you need some missing documents, and then you work a little bit more. So it's not like she had to do it all in 1 week. It was spaced out over 4 months or so. So this one is not the norm or average, but just wanted to showcase this because it is possible. We also had a student a few years ago who charged $75,000 for someone who was behind like 6 years. So it's really possible to be able to get these clients. And of course, we lock arms with you. We hold your hand through this whole journey, and we help you learn this stuff, and we help you get it down. So Jennifer, obviously getting through this cleanup job gave her so much experience and so much confidence with working with clients that she was just really ready to hit her marketing hard. She actually ended up upgrading into our restaurant bookkeeping mastermind, and has already gotten several clients in the restaurant industry, which you can actually charge even more than the prices I showed here because they're a little bit more complex. So Jennifer also just is about to retire her husband, and she has 4 teenage boys, and her oldest is working in her business now. And her husband's getting ready to quit his job and work with her. So really cool stuff. There's lots of opportunity. What do you guys think about this? Drop an emoji in the chat if this is something like any of these cleanup jobs. If you're looking forward to having a client like this, being able to utilize some of this cleanup job income to set aside, pay off debt, things like that. And if you guys have any questions on that too, pop it in the Q&A and I'll definitely go over that as well. Awesome. Okay, so again, here's just like a recap slide for you. Car dealerships, Amanda, yes, they are definitely more complex. If you get a car dealership, we would want to help walk you through all the ins and outs of that one, because cars are considered inventory and would be treated a little differently, but I would definitely charge more for a car dealership. So that's a great thing about the academy too. If you get a client that you haven't worked on in that industry before, we can help you know what you need to know so that you don't accidentally underquote them and then kind of work too hard and get resentful. Like I've done that in the past where I've underquoted clients and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to work with them. I don't want to work on their stuff because I know I'm getting like $20 an hour instead of the 100 that I get for this client. And so we want to help you avoid feeling like that. We want you to be excited to work on all your clients because they're paying you really well. Interior design is a good one. There can be some complexities with that, just depending on if they resell the furniture and stuff like that to their clients, or if they're just providing services. So there's a couple of different things to look out for with interior design. But again, we'll walk you guys through all those quotes. We'll help you answer or ask the right questions to your clients so that way we can help you. Oh, you currently work in interior design. Awesome. That's great. What we like to tell people too is like, you can leverage some of your past experience to actually like utilize that to connect with business owners. So if you currently work in interior design and you want to start this business, your first marketing thing could be going after interior designers that are self-employed, because you know the industry so well. You know how to speak their language, but they don't understand anything about bookkeeping. So Azaria says pharmacy, healthcare. There are a lot of med spas out there. I used to have a med spa client. That would be a really great one. Pharmacy, not so much. I think pharmacies are a little bit too big for what we do. But I do have a lot of, one of my most successful student, her name is Kaylee. I'm going to Jamaica with her next month to celebrate her business. But she actually left a pharmacy technician job in 2019. She was 23 working at that job, making 17 bucks an hour when she started her bookkeeping business 4 years ago. And now she is making almost $40,000 a month in her bookkeeping business. And she's about to turn 27, I think. So crazy. Yeah, Karen says the 32,000 is what I make a year right now in higher education. It's mind blowing, isn't it? But you know what? You didn't know that this opportunity or that there were opportunities like this out here up until now, right? Now you know, and now you can decide if you want to do something about it. Amanda says, I work in the car industry, but have little bookkeeping knowledge. No worries about that because we will help you with it. We will help you. Yep. Awesome. I love that. Okay. So when these ladies all got these potential clients, obviously we help them understand how to handle all the steps leading up to getting paid, but all the steps that come after. So here's a list of everything that we helped Kim, Alicia, and Jennifer with, and everybody else in our academy. We help them how to understand how to conduct the new client discovery call and ask all the right questions. And then we were able to help them put together proper quoting, a proper proposal, know how to present that to the client. So they were able to give the client choices. So the client said, I want option A. Instead of saying yes or no, they said option A or option B. So we show them how to do that. So it makes it easier to get a client. And then when they had the clients, we help them understand how to efficiently onboard these new clients, what documents or information that they're going to need to get the bookkeeping done, how to break down the cleanup job into, like I said with Jennifer, a manageable step-by-step process. So that they can get it done, but they can learn at the same time. Because you guys aren't going to know how to do this when you first get clients. We're going to help you learn how to do all of it while you're getting paid. It can be scary for some people, but it's the best way to go about it because now Jen took a leap of faith on that, got a huge payout, and we didn't let her down. We helped her through everything. And now she knows so much. She has so much confidence that she can keep doing this again, that she's just like full speed ahead. There's nothing holding her back. So, but we also help you understand this accounting software, which we use QuickBooks Online mostly, how to do the ongoing monthly work so that you make a minimum of $100 per hour doing the work. But most importantly, the most important step is that we taught them how to find these clients as well. Because if you can't find the clients, you can't do all these other steps. So finding them is the first step, and that is called marketing. So marketing for what we do in our academy, our students usually only spend about an hour a day or so on their marketing. Sometimes they spend more in the beginning, but as they start taking on clients, that really trails down. Because you start to get referrals from past people that you've talked to, current clients, things like that. So Kaylee that I mentioned, who is making about $40,000 a month right now, and her and I are going to Jamaica next month. She just started marketing again. She hasn't even done any marketing for like a year. And she has just been like constantly getting referrals because of the marketing she did in the beginning. It's continuing to go. So it's really awesome. You don't have to spend a lot of time on that after you start getting some clients coming in. But we usually recommend that you spend about an hour a day at a minimum to get this going. There are 3 main methods we teach our students to get clients, and every single method has been proven to get you from $0 to $100,000 in your first year in business within the first 12 months. And sometimes even before, like Jennifer, obviously with her $32,000 cleanup job, she made about $120,000 in 7 months. So if you take away that big giant cleanup job, she still made a lot of money in a short amount of time. But if you can do all 3 methods, or you can just pick one. I'm going to go over those here in a second. So if one of these methods appeal to you and others like you want to repel from, just know you don't have to do them all. If you do, though, you're just going to reach your goals faster. So Jennifer says, my fiance's boss owns his own business, and he's always telling us about how he has had so many bookkeepers that have never helped him. Yes, this is so interesting that you brought that up, Jennifer, because our students in the academy they get clients all the time because their previous bookkeeper doesn't message them back, doesn't answer their questions, made a mess of their books, didn't actually do the work. Because there's a lot of people, because bookkeeping isn't really that hard. It's not like you have to become a rocket scientist to understand bookkeeping. But if you don't know what you don't know, and a lot of times bookkeepers that go out and try to do it on their own, they don't know if they're messing up. They don't know if they're doing something wrong. But in our academy, we can help you learn how to provide world-class service and know exactly what to look for. Every single client that you take on, we will review your work. We give you a full review. We actually even give you a video saying, hey, here's all the things you did right. I would ask your client about this, this, and this, and make sure that that's right. And over time, you're going to learn what to look for so that you know you can always do an awesome job for your clients. But there's a lot of bookkeepers out there that try to start this on their own, do it on their own. They don't know what to look for. And so they end up not doing a great job for their clients. I just helped this one business down in Florida. It's like a $5 or $10 million roofing company. And they had a previous bookkeeper they paid her a ton of money. And we spent 60 hours going back and fixing everything she did wrong. So, and business owners don't know what to look for. So we help you figure that out. But yeah, there's a lot of misinformation out there on bookkeeping. Kelly says it's a holy cow moment. And that would be great. We can have you help him for sure. And some of our students even utilize that first client to get into the academy. Sometimes, of course, I've got the guaranteed approval program now, so you might not even need to worry about that. But sometimes their first clients will actually pay for the investment into the academy in exchange for bookkeeping services for the year, because they know our support is going to get them world-class financials. And no, Karen, you don't have clients do not have to be local. I will show you 3 different paths here. That way, Mohit, is everything possible from Pakistan? So you can do this from anywhere. It doesn't matter. However, I would say potentially you might run into communication barrier. So depending on how good your English is and how well you can communicate, because you will have to get on phone or Zoom calls with people. So as long as you can connect, it's all about connecting, finding the right clients for you and being able to connect on a personal level with them, then it's good, because this is a personal business. People hire bookkeepers because they want to develop a relationship where they can know, like, and trust them. So as long as you are comfortable doing that, you can definitely do it from Pakistan. So it would just depend on those things, how comfortable you are connecting with people. So I don't know what the particular bookkeeping things are like in Pakistan. I'm just assuming that you're wanting to get US or Canada based clients. So if that's the case, that would be your only hurdle, in my opinion. So that would be nice to help him. He is a very nice person. That's awesome. I love that, Jennifer. Okay, so marketing method number 1. This is organic social media marketing. There is no cost associated with this. Typically, it's a completely free path. Most of the marketing that we do, that I did in my business and that our students do, doesn't cost anything, which is an even better, awesome, benefit. So we help you utilize the platforms that you are most familiar with so that you can connect with business owners, because business owners are all over the place trying to market their business, and they're all over social media. So if you connect with them, then they know what you do, and then it's really easy to get them in the door. So we typically recommend utilizing Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever you're already using and familiar with. And for example, Kim on the prior screen that I showed you, she got that $9,000 cleanup job and the $2,200 monthly client. She got that from our step 1 of announcing your business on Facebook. One of her friends from high school saw that she was starting her bookkeeping business, and that friend had another friend who was struggling with their bookkeeping in their plumbing company. And so she tagged Kim in that post, and then that's how they connected there. So you don't have to be real salesy. You don't have to unlock your Facebook for all weird strangers to see, but this is a really great method for you to be able to get clients for free and totally transform your family's life. So that's one method. And we show you how to post things that get people interested in wanting to reach out to you, just so people know what you're doing. So you don't have to send like cold messages to people and do all weird things like that, although that method does work too. But we show you how to post things that get people interested in wanting to reach out to you for information, which is really awesome. And then the marketing method number 2 out of 3 that we teach that we really focus on is networking. So this one can be in person or it can be online. So this is great if you don't want to just have local people, right? That you can get online on these Zoom groups, or you can go in person and you connect with local businesses and hang out with them, get to know them and stuff. So there are free groups, lots of free groups that you can attend, but the ones that are the best are industry exclusive groups, and they're called referral groups. And when I joined one, I paid about $500 for an annual membership. A lot of them now are like around 1,000. And I made over $60,000 just in my first year of being a member of that group, just from that marketing channel. And I didn't know what I was doing at the time, so I just like guessed. So we have a whole strategy around how to help you guys find these groups and how to help you guys get the most out of it. And it's really awesome. And those are so super inexpensive. This group was really cool too, because it also turned into like a second little family for me. So since I was working from home and me and my husband and the kids were always at home, it was nice once a week to get out and go have lunch with a bunch of other adults and meet some people. And I liked it because my group was small. We had like 10 or 15 people in there. So I was able to just really meet people one-on-one. I didn't like big groups and stuff like that. So if you're an introvert, these can be very like non-invasive. But what's great about these groups is all the other members of the group, they help you grow your business. So they're going to tell their clients and their friends and family about you as well. So every single person in the group has their own little sphere of influence. And because they know you and what you do and learn about your business, they're able to help you market. So it's really, really cool. But if you don't like that, we also have email marketing, which is even more geared towards introverts. So we show you how to launch email campaigns for 2 different people. Number 1, for business owners, so you can just directly like get them on a call and see if you can help them, or also developing partnerships with tax people. So Laura has a question about that. I'll answer that in a sec, but like with tax offices. So every single client has to have their bookkeeping done in order to file their taxes. They have to have that done. But a lot of tax people either don't like to do bookkeeping or they just don't even offer it. And so they need their clients to have their bookkeeping done before they can do their taxes. Every time I do these webinars, I usually can't talk for the rest of Saturday, but little funny side note there. But anyway, these tax offices are like gold mines. This is one of the reasons why Kaylee, that I was talking to you about, hasn't had to do marketing, because she had a partnership with a really big CPA firm in Utah where she lives. And this guy has been consistently sending her referrals for years, because she made that connection in the beginning. So if you can get in with a couple of tax offices, they will pretty consistently send you clients, because everybody and their brother needs to get their taxes done. So tax offices just explode easy. But a lot of them need bookkeeping. And so they need to refer that out. A lot of them refer it out. And even the firms that do offer bookkeeping, like Claire might work for a CPA firm that does bookkeeping. Even if they do bookkeeping, sometimes they get overloaded and they need to outsource during busy times. And that can give you the opportunity to pick up a couple clients here and there too. I actually fell into my last year of business. I fell into a partnership with a tax person who he had bought a business. He bought a CPA bookkeeping and tax firm, but he found out that the bookkeeping department, because of the way it was staffed, was just losing money left and right. But his tax side was like really thriving. So he actually fired all of his bookkeeping department and he offloaded all of his clients to me. So like the last year that I was in business, I just got like 25 clients like right off the bat from him. It was amazing. So you'll find stuff like that all the time by partnering with tax firms. So we show you how to deploy these email campaigns to both business owners and tax offices. And that is very inexpensive as well too. We have a couple programs, software programs that you can use to save time, which is like anywhere from like 50 to $100 a month with no contract. You can cancel at any time, or you can do it manually. We show you how to do it manually, which doesn't cost anything, which is really cool. So it just depends on how quickly you want to grow. So, okay. So, drop an emoji if you guys if you like all this and you want to see how we help students achieve these results and goals. Are you probably wondering like, well, how am I supported? Like, what does all that look like? All right. Yes. Smiley face. Awesome. Okay. So, and then of course, keep sticking around because we've got 25 technical questions that I'm going to answer to after I walk you through what our academy looks like. So I want you guys to kind of get an idea of how we support people. But the first thing that we do is we have a members only private Facebook group. You guys might all be in our Have Your Cake and Eat It Too Facebook group. We have like 33,000 people in there, but we have a private one just for our students, our current students. So in there right now, we have approximately 200 students that are in their first year, which is really awesome. It provides for this really supportive sense of community. And then we have around 30 students who are in their second, third, and fourth year actually of their business. So you get to connect and collaborate with them as well. And then there's about 8 people from our team who are coaching you. They're all experts in either growing a bookkeeping business or doing bookkeeping. And you have those people at your disposal. And yes, this will be recorded again, Tariq, so you will get the link for that. So that's one thing, is having this private community, which is really great. But we also treat that community like a ticketing system. So even though it's a Facebook group, every single question that's posted, we put that in our system as a ticket. And you can ask questions relating to any single topic. So we're going to have you go through like some basic coursework on how to set up your business, how to do a cleanup job, how to quote, that kind of stuff. And then we're going to help you solidify that by having you take action, getting some things going, and then we're going to fill in the gaps with questions and support. So whenever you have a question or you're unclear about something in the coursework or any process that you're doing, you submit a question. We answer all of them, and they can be related to any topic. So some of those examples would be like a sales question, how to talk to clients, a marketing question, how to find them, quoting questions, how to use QuickBooks online. Maybe you have a technical bookkeeping or a technical tax question, a workflow question. Maybe you have a question about your mindset. You're like, well, how can I possibly charge someone this, or how am I going to do it this quick? Or I'm afraid to go to this networking meeting because I don't know what to say. And we help you with the mindset stuff, you know? We answer questions currently right now 6 days a week. Sundays are not popular days for people to ask questions, so we don't cover those days. But if you do post a question on Sunday, we answer it Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So we currently, which is really cool right now, have a 45-minute response time. So if you ask a question, you're going to get a response really fast. And if you ask it outside of the shift time, then you get it first thing in the morning. This is a really awesome feature for you, because as a new person, you're not going to always know the answers to the questions that your clients ask you. But the cool thing is you can say, let me check on something real quick before I answer that question. I'll get back with you here shortly. And you can come ask us. We'll have an answer for you right away. And then you can get back to your client, which communication is key. And that is really important with your clients, that they trust you because you communicate with them. So we want to help you provide really awesome information. And then if you ever get stuck on anything as you're working through the process, you can just post a question real quick. We'll help you through that process. And then you're right back on to the next task, moving forward to reaching your goals. So it's super streamlined. We don't want you to waste time researching or being unsure about what to do, because you need to use that time to either grow your business or spend it with your family. Jennifer says, I have a couple of local businesses in mind that could use a bookkeeper. Fantastic. You've already got some great leads. Other than routine bookkeeping, what other skills should I need to learn, like taxation? So I'll go over that here shortly, Mohit, if you want to drop that in the Q&A, because that requires a little bit of a longer answer, but we don't want you to do taxes yet. That is a whole nother business model. And this one is more profitable and more scalable and less taxing on your time. Tax season is brutal. So we recommend that if you want to do taxes, and we do have a tax course that you get to go through just to learn, because the more you know about taxes, the better of a bookkeeper that you are. But to actually like prepare taxes and offer taxes, we say to save that for like maybe 2 to 3 years in business. And if you are still wanting to do it at that point, then you can add it. Most people don't. I'd say like 10 to 15% of our students will actually go into taxes. Okay, so here's a screenshot from our metrics. I have my team is graded on everything. So when you guys ask questions in the group, we score and grade, we double check everything, but you're also getting answers really fast. So here is one from a few months ago. We had 578 questions asked in the group, which is really cool because you guys are going to learn from other people's questions too, which is fantastic. We call them tickets. So it says tickets on here, but out of that, 410 of those questions, or 71% of them, were resolved on the first touch. So our team was able to fully answer the question right when it was asked. We didn't need follow-up information. Most importantly on this thing is the response time for answering the question averaged at 42 minutes. So 71% of those questions were fully answered on an average 42 minutes. You can't even Google answers and read through Google that fast. So that is really, really helpful. But sometimes questions need more clarification. Like our team is going to ask questions back to you, so that way we can make sure that we are understanding the whole situation, and we can inform you fully of the actual correct answer. And so even with that, going back and forth for the other 29% of questions, there was still a 65-minute resolution time. So even like just barely over an hour, you still had your answer to even the complicated questions, which is giving you guys time back, which is awesome. We also have tons of Zoom calls every week. Sometimes people are a little apprehensive to get on these when they're new, but we really encourage people to join as many of them as you can, even if you're just passively listening with your camera off at first. That gives you're going to learn stuff, you're going to get ideas, and then over time, you're going to get comfortable participating in the Zoom calls. If you're an introvert, that's the path we recommend. But we have calls during lunch hour, we have calls in the evening. Sometimes they're topic specific, like every Monday we have a mindset call. But most of the time they're general Q&A, and you'll hear a lot of people asking bookkeeping and client specific questions on here. So you always have somebody to go to explain things, because sometimes you need to talk to somebody and not just like type out your question, right? You need to voice it. You need to explain it. Especially if you're totally new to bookkeeping, the terminology is going to be new to you. So it'll be hard to sometimes type out your question. That's why we have so many Zoom calls that you can hop on. I couldn't even get a partner to answer my questions within an hour back at the firm. Yes, for sure. That's funny, Claire. Yeah, we really pride ourselves in helping you guys get super quick answers. All right. Okay, and then you'll also have access to our client success director, who she's going to support you one-on-one over email. And her whole job that I have outlined for her is to help you guys get through the steps. So we have a whole roadmap that we walk you through, an order of what you need to do to reach your goals. And so she's going to be checking in with you. At first, it's like multiple times a week. And then as you start checking things off, that's done, you're on the right path, she'll start to space that out. But you're always welcome to have that one-on-one email communication with her, and she'll help you, point you in the right direction, help you find the resources that you need. She's really awesome to work with as well. So you'd have that benefit. And then, of course, we've got basic coursework that you'll get to go through that help you through this. They are small manageable videos, because we all know that you guys are super busy, but you do have access to a whole library of stuff. So a lot of the things that you're going to have access to aren't going to be really that important in the beginning, but over time will be very valuable for you. So we'll point you to those lessons as needed, so you don't have to, absorb all this information and then hope that you might need some of it here and there, which is kind of what it's like when you go to school. When you go to college, you have to go through 2 or 4 years of all these classes, absorb all this information, and then when you actually go out in the real world, you're using like 5% of it. So everything that's in our coursework is really valuable. Like, you're going to utilize most of it, but at various times. And so what our client success director helps with is like, it's not a good use of your time to go through all of the coursework right from the beginning. But as you start to have questions and you reach out to our team, she's going to tell you, this course is what you need to focus on. This one is going to answer your question, solve your problem, bring it back to us, and we'll help fill in the gaps if you still have questions. So that's what's really helpful about our coursework too. So what we typically see with our students is like the first couple of weeks, they're going through our setting up your business back office coursework. They're going through the learn the basics of bookkeeping and business ownership coursework. They're learning how to provide amazing service to the client. What does that look like? They're learning how to communicate intelligently with a potential client, because if you're brand new about bookkeeping, you want to feel comfortable talking to a business owner. So all of that stuff is going to happen in the first couple weeks. You're going to know what questions to ask if you get a potential client that's interested and you need to have a call with them, or if like Jennifer wants to, go talk to a couple of those local businesses. How do you get the conversation started? What questions do you ask? Those are the things we cover first in the beginning, so you feel comfortable talking about it. Then around week 3 and 4 is when we help you develop the marketing plan that fits your personality and your lifestyle, and we help you go ahead and launch it. What are you going to do? What's your plan? Let's get it going, because action is the only thing that gets results. So we want you guys to dive in as quick as you can, as quick as you feel ready. So usually for most of our students, that's around week 3 to 4 is when they start marketing. And then as you're doing that, you want to get feedback, get help from our group, so we can help you continue to fine tune that process. And then usually the beginning of month 2, that's when you'll start to enroll a client or two. And then we're going to help you with learning how to onboard them, learning how to do the cleanup job, learning how to do the work. It's going to be a hands-on, paid environment where we help you solidify all these skills. And then month 3 through 12 in our academy is just continuing the process, onboarding more clients, developing more skills, becoming an expert bookkeeper. Our students graduate our academy literally as an expert. They are an expert bookkeeper by the end. They've worked with so many clients and have learned how to do everything right that they feel confident calling themselves experts. You're going to get the experience with a lot of different industries, because we'll be able to provide that safety net, so you won't have to tell clients no, because we can help you with those industries and be able to learn them all. But this helps set the foundation for a profitable business that gives you the financial, location, and time freedom that you are looking for. So that's kind of what happens. That's kind of the journey of the first year. Obviously, we want to keep working with you for years to come. So even after the first year, we have people that renew. I'd say at least about a third of the people will renew in our academy. About 10 to 15% will upgrade into our mastermind programs to help scaling their business. And the rest of the people will just stay where they're at, because that's their goal. They want to just kind of coast, like we talked about at the beginning of the call. So I am definitely still going to answer all these questions, but before I dive into the questions, I want to go over the investment, and I also want to help you guys go over the funding option if you guys want to do that too. So before we dive into the investment, does everybody here feel like you understand all of this? It sounds great. You would be ready to enroll. You would love to do this. Put a yes if this is something that you want to do, that you're excited about. Put a no if there's still some hesitation or something that was like, I don't know, I still need clarity on. Okay, yes, lots of yeses. Great, I love this. Thumbs up. Okay, Cool. All right. I feel like I did a good job explaining it. Karen says need to save money first. I will definitely address that. Yes. There's a couple different ways that you can get in. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Awesome. So our program, I'm going to go over the investment now. I'm going to show you guys how you can break it down to get in for like really low monthly investment. But our program for the 12 months is a $12,000 program. And we help our students go from $0 to $100,000 in their business, literally starting from scratch, getting to $100,000. So $12,000 investment to get to $100,000. It's pretty close to a 10x return on investment, which is obviously way more than you could ever earn in interest or in any other investment. Investing in yourself and investing in your business will always be the best investment that you can ever make. And then you can use that money to go on to other investments like real estate and things like that. So that's what we aim for. That's what we typically see our students getting, at least close to a 10x return on investment. So how do you get started? So we have this new funding specialist, like I mentioned, and they have approved the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy, our company, to offer guaranteed approval. So what they'll have you do is they're going to have you go through a application process. If you do happen to have good credit, you could get your payments down to join the academy anywhere from $250 to $350 a month. If you don't have good credit and you qualify for our guaranteed approval, the payments are going to be around $640 a month. So just depending on where you're at in your life, that's what the monthly amount could possibly be. So we suggest applying for this funding. Let me share my screen and see if you guys can see this. So this is the screen that you'll go to, and I'm going to drop this in the chat. And don't forget, I'm going to answer everybody's questions here too in a minute. But this is the funding. If you want to click on that link so you have it open in your browser, I'll also email it out to you guys as well. But how this works is you just click this Apply Now button, and it takes about 5 minutes to apply. You get those super small, affordable monthly payments, whether you qualify for like a $250 payment or worst case scenario, a $640 payment. That's about 1 to 1.5 clients that you need to bring on to cover that payment. So even if you get one client, you're going to be ahead of the game, right? And obviously we all know there's so many clients out there, you guys are going to reach your goals, right? So these payments are super small, affordable. If you get in on any of them, I believe the guaranteed approval program is also a 0% interest if it's paid off in a year. So it's spaced out, I believe, over 24 months. But if you get one of those really awesome cleanup jobs, you can pay that off and have 0% interest, which is fantastic. So there's no prepayment penalty. When you first apply, it's a soft pull, so it doesn't hurt your credit. And they're not going to process it on your credit at all unless you approve them to. And you're going to know within hours of applying if you got pre-approved. And if you don't get pre-approved, you are still going to be guaranteed approved. Okay. And then if you do get pre-approved for a traditional one where you have even lower payments, you will typically get your funds within 3 to 5 days, which means you guys could actually get started by like Wednesday or before next weekend, you'd be able to get started on this, which is awesome. So super easy. You just fill out the application. Like I said, that link, it'll take you guys 5 minutes. So drop an emoji in here if you applied, if you guys apply during this process. I want to cheer you on. Okay. And then they're going to call you and just go over your options with you. And then you can decide if you want to move forward or not. And I'm always happy to talk to you guys about your options, because I know sometimes people are a little confused on whether or not they should take out a loan or get funding for this, or what about interest? All of this is tax deductible. And the interest is also kind of a moot point as well, because your chance of being able to pay this off really quickly and avoid almost all of that interest is incredibly high. So even if there is interest on the loan, you'll be able to pay it off quickly, as long as you're going to commit to yourself that you're going to follow the steps. So there's that like internal decision to make there. So let me know, what are your guys' thoughts in the chat? on the payment plan. Is that doable for you guys? $250 at worst case scenario, $640 a month. Is that something that's doable, especially given the results that you could potentially have within your first month or two? Type in the chat a thumbs up if you feel like it's doable, or a yes if it's doable. And if you have reservations about it, I'd love to discuss it. And then I also want to answer all of these fantastic questions that you guys have. Janine says yes. Awesome. Okay, let me make sure I didn't have anything else on my slideshow. And then, yeah, I didn't. Okay, so now I've got some great questions. Jessica said, I'm currently being trained one-on-one via Zoom by an accountant with an MBA to take over her job working for a medium-sized business doing job-specific tasks. Besides marketing and hopefully mindset, what is your course offer? Okay, I think I answered that question there, Jessica. Thank you. Kelly says, what size were the businesses that hired you as a bookkeeper? That's a great question, Kelly. So I had clients that ranged from super small sign company that was like $100,000 a year, all the way up to, let's see, what was my biggest? Well, recently I just took on a $10 million plumbing company. No, not plumbing, roofing company. So it kind of ranged from all different size. I also had a lot of real estate investors who had a lot of different properties that they were renting out. I had this one company who had 150 rental properties, which was really, really cool. Olusina says, I'll have loved to enroll for this program, but my current monthly earnings could only hardly pay for my rent. So yes, if you're in a really, really tight spot like that, where you can barely pay for your basic necessities, it may not be the right time for you, right? But if you do we have this girl, I got to tell you about this girl. We have this girl in our program right now. She's about to win a contest. And actually she's getting inherited like a bunch of bookkeeping clients from this tax firm. But she told me when she joined, she was on food stamps. And this has completely, utterly changed her life. She was in a rough spot because she had kids. I don't know if she went through a divorce or something. I'm not really sure what the situation was, but she had to get on food stamps to be able to survive. And now she's has this business and is never going to have to worry about money again. So I encourage you, if you're in a tough spot, there may be not much you could do at the moment, but if you could find somebody to either a client that would be willing to pay for your $640 minimum payment, you're guaranteed to be approved. So doesn't matter if your income is nothing and your credit is terrible, you're guaranteed to be approved. So if you go out there, Lucina or Karen, and you do what Jennifer's going to do and talk to some of these local businesses and see if you can find a client, you can be upfront with them and say, hey, I just need $640 a month to have a rock star mentor, and I do your bookkeeping for free, or they can pay you the $640 a month. And then you're able to do that and get help with your client. And then then you're covered. Then everything else is just icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that would work. Michael says, it would be if I wasn't already paying so many different debt payments. Otherwise, I agree. Right. I totally understand that too. If you have a lot of debt payments right now, this seems scary. So the one thing you have to decide is, are you going to do this? Are you going to make it work? Because if you do, this is the key to getting rid of the rest of those debt payments. So is it a risk that you're willing to take? But it only makes sense if you're going to do it, if you're going to follow the steps, because this isn't, it's not an overnight success. It's not a get rich quick scheme. And it is something that you're going to have to put work into. So the last thing we would want you to do is get into the academy and this actually causing more debt for you. We would want this to be something that is freeing you from debt. But in order for that to happen, you actually have to follow the steps and you have to take the action and do the work. So if you are committed to doing that, it's worth the risk for you. If you're not, or you're not sure yet, wouldn't necessarily be worth the risk, right? So you have to be committed to wanting to do it. So tell me where you're at with that, Michael. Is that something that you're ready to commit to? Let's see. Jennifer says, I'm unsure since I'm not working right now. I'll have to ask my fiance since he's the only one working. Yep. And absolutely. Again, that would be something that I highly recommend either having him come back to this webinar on Thursday, or sending him the recording and having a discussion about it, or going out and talking to those potential clients that you have and seeing if any of those, might want to help you. Laura gave the hearts. Mohit says, I'm already a QBO Pro advisor. What should I do next? So there's a lot of certifications and things like that. And those are great to have, but they're not going to get you clients. And you can have a successful business even if you have no certifications. So they're great to work on, but there's two things in your business that are going to be things you can do, like technical busy work stuff, and then things that actually get you results. And while the certifications and the learning and the going through courses after courses after courses are going to be great and advance your knowledge, it doesn't get you results. So having action in the things that actually get you results, like doing the marketing, things like that, that's what's going to help you go. So I am an advocate of not wasting your time getting a ton of certifications or spending the first 3 months going through a million courses, because you're going to need to take action to get results. Clients are not going to fall in your lap. You have to follow the steps in marketing. So if you already have your QuickBooks Pro advisor, I would honestly stop there, because certifications aren't going to mean much to your clients. The only thing that I feel like is great about the QuickBooks Pro advisor is that once you have your profile going, you can get clients from your profile, which might be a little challenging for you, Mohid, because your profile is going to show that you're in Pakistan. So I'm not sure that would be a benefit for you. Brooke said, I noticed I had monthly maintenance fees on my checking account and 2 savings account and was paying $35 per month in fees. I went into the bank to ask about the fees. They said if I opened a credit card through them, the fees are waived. Interesting. I applied for the card, which had a 0% interest on all charges in the first 12 months. So I charge my enrollment fee and getting reward points on my credit cards, and we'll be able to pay it off with clients added without interest. Yes, that's awesome. As I've started to grow my business, I actually pay almost all of my bills with credit cards, and then I pay my credit cards off at the end of every month. And I'm about ready to have a free vacation in Jamaica, or actually we might go to St. Lucia instead. Oh, it's like a 3-day vacation, but from your credit card points. That is another really cool secret benefit of having a business. I loved it. Jennifer says, can I watch this again because I have to get off? My youngest is demanding mommy's attention. Absolutely. Same link. You guys will be able to click the same link that you did when you registered. Should be emailed out to you after it's done as well, and you'll be able to watch this replay. Let's see. Without having a portfolio website in the beginning, how should I approach my potential clients to build trust as a non-US resident? That is a great question. I would probably suggest that you maybe join a networking group, an online networking group. That might be helpful, because then other people would really get to know you. That would probably be the best thing. I look forward to working with you too, Jennifer. All right. Let's see. Kelly says, oh, I answered that one. Did your work AP or AR only for your clients? So accounts payable and accounts receivable are additional services that you can offer to clients, and they are above and beyond the bookkeeping that I showed you. So if you decide to help them pay their bills, or you decide to help them invoice their clients, we can help you with that, learn how to do it, know the workflow around that and what to charge. But it is an extra charge, which is great. It's above and beyond what you would normally charge them for just basic bookkeeping. The drawback to that is it's more time sensitive. So it kind of puts a damper a little bit on your schedule, your freedom with your schedule. So I only had a couple clients that I did that for because I really liked them. But I personally don't like doing that because it does like restrict, like some of them are like, oh, every Friday you got to have the bills paid, or tomorrow you got to pay this bill that he emailed in yesterday. And so it's like a little bit more of a time sensitive thing. So I don't always like to do those. Michael says, definitely want to commit, but I've been hesitant because I don't think I can get approved for the loan due to having to pay all these other ones. Plus, we're penny pinching as it is. Remember, Michael, you're going to get approved. Everyone is approved. Everyone. So you will definitely get approved. But if you have to go through the guaranteed approval part, which they'll automatically do that for you, it would be $640 a month. So as long as you feel like you can swing that for a couple of months, you're going to get clients, and then the client is going to be able to cover that, your client income. So That's awesome that you're working through some of that stuff. That's great, Michael. I'm really excited for you. That's awesome. Worst case scenario, apply, because you guys can always just change your mind. If you apply and then you're like, no, I just don't like these terms. I just don't think I can afford 640 right now. I don't think I'm going to be able to take the action that I need to get a client in the next month or two to cover this payment. You can always change your mind. It's not set in stone. So let's see. I think Mohid, social media and email are the best ways to reach out to potential clients. David says, what do your students do about health insurance? This is a fantastic question. So I have used a company called Liberty Health Share. It's like a co-op type of thing. And it worked really well for me because our family didn't have any pre-existing conditions. They don't cover pre-existing conditions right off the bat, but they are really cheap. When I first started, it was $5.99 a month for all 7 of us, and it covered my twin pregnancy and twin childbirth, C-section, all that stuff. I only had to pay $1,500 out of pocket for the whole year, and it covered all 7 of us. Now over time, because of inflation and whatnot, it's $1,100 a month, but it covers everything for our family, for all 7 of us. But there are other options too. A lot of our students go through the marketplace. We have some health insurance brokers we could recommend to you. So that is something that, you don't need to worry about. It will fall into place. And the benefits that you get at your current job for health insurance, your business is going to fully cover that. So you may pay more in health insurance personally, potentially, depending on what your job offers, but you're going to be making a lot more. I just breathed in funny. Tariq says, is there a monthly payment for people that want to pay out of pocket? So if you want to pay the $12,000 directly to us, we can take that up front and then you're good for the whole year. We also have an option where you can pay $29.97 or $3,000 down, and then starting in month 4, you'll have $1,000 monthly payments. So let me know if you're interested in that, Tariq, because that's an option you can do if you don't even want to go through funding. Michael says, I'll go over it with the household before making a final decision, but ultimately, if I can get a couple clients with the basics completed, then I'll use that to sign up, no doubt. That sounds good. Paulette says, would we need the 640 payment for the guaranteed acceptance financing on the day we apply? On the day that you are finished, yes, Paulette, I think the first payment is due as soon as you get approved or as soon as the process is done, because everyone's approved. But yeah, you would need that on that day. But if you want to go ahead and go through the whole process and get it set up, you can work out that day with them. You can say, okay, I'll have this payment, but I'll be ready to go in like a week or whatever. So yeah, you have some flexibility there. So honestly, I don't know how long this lender will offer this to, guys, and I don't want to have you guys rush into anything, but they may end up discontinuing this program if so many people use it and they run out of funds or something. So it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and go through the process if it's something you want to do, because like I said, you could always say, okay, I'll be ready in 2 weeks, and it's still going to be there waiting for you. Or you could say, I don't want to do it. So whatever you want to do. Okay, answered that. And yes, I think for Mohit, if you are in Pakistan, I mean, we could help you with US and Canada-based clients. I don't know anything about bookkeeping in Pakistan, though. David says, are you slammed at the end of the month? Great question. So typically you're not slammed at the end of the month, but you do have to reconcile all of your clients and everything at the beginning of the next month for the previous month. So I do recommend, if you start to get a lot of clients you will get a lot of clients if you keep marketing, but once you get to that level where you've got a lot, the first week of the month, I usually avoided taking vacations or anything during that week just because I didn't want to get behind. But a lot of your clients aren't going to be in a big hurry to see their financials every single month. So you do have some flexibility, but I would say the first week of every month is typically the heavier workload. Did you tell your clients you were gone for 16 days when I went on a vacation? That's That's hard to say. I may have told some of them that I was going. I may have put an out of office thing on my email. But I did look at it as like a light working vacation. I'm sure I probably did because I wanted to do the bare minimum while I was on that trip. So I probably did tell them, hey, I'm going to be out of the office. We're going on a vacation. But if you need me, I'll be checking my email, or you can call me if you have any emergencies. Otherwise, I will be, getting caught up on your books when I get back. Really easy. Derek says, how frowned upon is using QuickBooks Desktop instead of QuickBooks Online? That's a great question as well. We support you on QuickBooks Desktop. However, QuickBooks Online provides you the opportunity to be about 10 times faster and 10 times more efficient. So we do encourage our students to work with clients that are open to using QuickBooks Online because we can help you manage your workflow a lot easier. Not every business is a perfect fit for that, though. Lucina says, I think I joined after this cost question. Oh, I already answered that. What beginner services can I offer with only a QuickBooks Pro certificate? So basic bookkeeping is really like the beginner service. There's more things to add on to that, like sales tax and payroll and accounts receivable and accounts payable and taxes if you want to at some point, and budgeting and forecasting and CFO services, but it all begins with basic bookkeeping. So that is the basic. And while it's easy, there is a lot to learn. And so that's what we help in the academy. And once you solidify your basic bookkeeping business, then from there, you are going to be able to open up a world of whatever you want to do after that, which is awesome. Okay. Let's see. Claire. Yes, Claire, you are in a little bit of a tough situation. I didn't want to read that out loud, but if you can email me, I think I have some ideas. I'll put my email here in the chat. And if you guys have any specific questions too, you can email me. Brooke says, how much do businesses pay to use QBO? It varies on the level, but on average, I would say $55-ish per month. And you get commission on that. We show you how to set yourself up as a reseller. So the business will pay for their own QuickBooks subscription, and then you will get commission on it. So typically for every new person that you sign up, I think you get about $75 for every person. Let's see. What is an example of a $2,000 monthly clientele? What kind of possible work would you have to do for it to add up to that? That's a great question too. So you're going to be doing basic bookkeeping, but depending on how big the client is or how small, that is going to dictate how much time it's going to take and how many transactions that they're going to have and how much work is going to go into it. So a $2,000 monthly client could be that range because they just have a lot of volume. Maybe they have like thousands of transactions every month, or maybe they have multiple locations and they want you to track all the transactions for location A and all the transactions for location B, so they know the profit for each location. So there could be a lot of different things. There could also be accounts payable or accounts receivable lumped into that amount as well. So there's a lot of different reasons that you could charge 500 versus 2,000 versus 3,000 versus 4,000. And it just depends on what the client's needs are, which is why we work with each one of our students so individually for every single quote, because there could be a lot that they would love to have help with. And if we can help you make, $2,000, $3,000 per month per client, and you want to do those things, then we want to help you quote that and get that included as a service. Katrina says, what are the benefits to doing your program? I think I already answered that. Are franchises considered small businesses? Ooh, that's a great question, Katrina. Franchises are great to get into. I have several students who had like Planet Sub franchises. And once you get into a franchise, then you can become a preferred vendor, which then means every single time a franchisee needs bookkeeping help, they'll go to the preferred vendor list and you would be listed there. And so they would automatically reach out to you. So if you can get on with a franchise, it could be the only marketing you would ever need to do. Not all franchises are going to be the same. Some of them might be more fun. Some of them might be more difficult and challenging. So it just kind of just depends, but the franchises would be really cool. And then what kind of clientele are not good to take on? I would say, definitely the cannabis industry is something that I don't recommend any beginner takes on. I think you should be doing bookkeeping for several years before you actually take on a cannabis client. Those are more challenging. Real estate, construction, house flipping, those are all a little bit more challenging, but fully easy for a beginner to do with our help. So lots of clientele. We usually tell our students to look for service-based businesses right out of the gate. Oh, that's a good idea, David. I love that. Mohib can target some Pakistani small business owners in Orlando. I like that. Amanda asks if you need an accounting degree, and you do not. You actually do not need any degrees or certifications to be able to have a successful bookkeeping business, which is really awesome. How about the trucking industry and property management? Trucking industry is a little bit more challenging as well, but we've had quite a few clients in the past that have gotten trucking clients. So we can help you walk you through the nuances there. Property management is something that is a little bit more in depth also, but a lot of our students get property management clients. I like those. They're more time consuming, but you can charge more. Hair industry is great. Those can be really great. They can be easy, and they can also be more in depth depending on if they need help, with their products and tracking their products, or if they're just like, if they have a bunch of people, if they have booths that they sell and rent out, or if they have employees, or if it's a one-man shop. So the hair industry is cool because there's all sorts of different like avenues you can branch off and help people in, just depending on what their business looks like. I know Jennifer's gone, but she said, do I need a license to get started? No license. When you get started in here, we'll walk you through this, but we'll help you set up your LLC. I have a company that does that for you guys. Get your LLC set up. And sometimes it's good to get a local business license for your city. Sometimes the cities or counties require that. It's easy. It's usually like either free or it's like $25 or something to do that for the year. What certifications are good to have? I've noticed not a lot of bookkeepers have their badges on their webpage. That is true. It's nice to have your QuickBooks Pro Advisor certification, but outside of that, I wouldn't really recommend spending time doing that. Because if you spend your time on marketing and you start making money, then down the line, it won't even feel important to you to do that. So the QuickBooks Pro Advisor is the only thing I really recommend. And that's really just so that you can have your profile up on Intuit's site and potentially get free clients that way. Paulette says, does training cover whether business licenses and other requirements? Yes, it does. We help you with all of your back office setup. We help explain all of that. We even help you create your LLC. And you can, Tariq, with your question with creating your LLC in another state, yes, you can definitely do that. Our team that helps you create the LLC can answer all of your questions about legal entity creation as well. Janine says, is the Academy self-paced, and how often can someone lose a client due to business closing? So the Academy is self-paced, which is great because like you guys saw on this webinar, every single person has different goals. We had some people that want to just make $5,000 a month as their wow goal, and other people that want to make $30,000 as their wow goal, right? So for that, we have it set up in a way that everyone can reach their goals and everyone can reach success. So you can go as fast or as slow as you want in the Academy, and we are going to match that speed for you. We're going to be there to help you where you're at. We've had lots of practice with that. And so you can go at your own pace, correct. How often can someone lose a client due to business closing? While this does happen, on occasion, sometimes businesses close, sometimes businesses don't do well. And sometimes you'll get a client that's not a great fit for you. Maybe you don't really like the way they communicate, or maybe they're rude, so occasionally you might lose a client. I'm not going to lie to you and say that every single client you get will stay with you forever. That's not the case. But out of all the clients that I had in my business, I think I had 2 or 3 clients that left because they were just not good fits. I had one girl who I felt like she was wanting to do some shady things. I didn't like working with her. And so she didn't like working with me because she wanted me to do things I didn't want to do. And so I let her go. And then there was just a couple of people. I can't think that anybody closed their business when I mean, I have had students where their clients' business closed, and so they did leave. And that does happen on occasion, but most of the time, if you're doing a good job for your clients, which you will, especially if you're in our academy, because we'll make sure of that. And then number 2, you're maintaining good communication. You respond to their emails within 24 to 48 hours. You answer their questions, things like that. They don't leave. Getting a new accountant is so stressful for business owners. Once they get set up with you, they stay. Most of them stay. But there are those instances where, you might have a bad fit, somebody that just you don't like working with, or they're just stressful. You let them go, or they just part ways. And occasionally people's businesses, do close. Kadisha says, can I use an already registered LLC? This LLC was never registered for accounting, though. Maybe I could change the name and the category of business with the state, or just create a new one. Our legal team that we partner with can definitely help you make that decision. If you want to book a call with them, let me actually pull that up for you guys. So for those of you that are having these questions, let me see if I can find that link. I don't know where it is. I know I have it saved somewhere handy here. Here it is. If you guys want to book a call with our LLC team, they can definitely help you get going. But typically, if the LLC was set up for some other type of business that's totally different from bookkeeping, it would probably be best to set up a new one. However, if you have an old LLC that could be used for this, and it's been in existence for a while, it might be good to keep that one. In case you ever want to get business credit, you have one that's been established for a long time, which would be good too. And you can always create DBAs underneath that, doing business as. So if it's like Kadisha Edwards LLC, and then you could say doing business as Edwards Bookkeeping Service or whatever. But our coursework also walks you through all of that too. So just so you guys know, all of these questions are answered in our program as well, in depth. Katrina says, how is the amount of time spent working on the client's books so short? So I know I kind of went over that, but I'll answer it again. Whenever you're doing bookkeeping, you're going to streamline the efforts, but it really only takes maybe around 45 minutes per week for one of those small average clients to just clear the banking screen, is what we call it. You're adding in the transaction, you're putting in the name of the vendor, the person they paid, you're categorizing it, you're hitting add. And then same with deposits. Who's the customer? What income category does it go to? Add. So it's that simple. Boom, boom, boom. Data entry. All throughout the month, data entry. That's why it's so quick. And then at the end of the month, that first week after the month ends, you'll go through and you'll reconcile the books. So that takes maybe 30 minutes or so, depending on the client, if it's a small client like this. So that's why you're able to streamline this and spend so little time actually working on the books, because it's really fast. It's just fast. In your book, what did you mean by not setting deadlines or making promises? Ooh, that's a good question. So for example, when you guys are doing cleanup jobs, it's always best to set proper expectations so that you don't overpromise and underdeliver. You want to set proper deadlines, not promise things that are unrealistic. So for example, when Jennifer got that $32,000 cleanup job, she did not promise them she was going to get it done next week. She told them that she would be working on it. We would be in constant communication. It's probably going to take several months. So that's what, setting proper deadlines, expectations, that keeps you from being in a stressful situation. And it helps you have that time freedom that you're looking for too, because you're going to constantly be getting new clients. And if you promise your client every time that the cleanup job is going to get done next week, you're going to be working a lot. Whereas if you're able to space it out, you can still structure your day, maybe around only working 3 or 4 hours a day or whatever it is that you want. So we help you with those boundaries. Let's see. So Michael, your question, which I think we've kind of addressed that, biggest concern is quoting. So if you're still on here, I'd love to know what your specific concern is around quoting so I can address that specifically. Of course, we'll help you with every single quote. So if you're just not sure how to come up with the pricing, that will be covered and that we will help you with. And we have a flow chart too that kind of gets you started. And then our team will review every quote that you have also. And then of course, yes, the startup cost. And if your wife is on here or if she can watch it too, I'd love to know what questions that she ends up having also. That would be helpful. Because the startup, the investing in yourself and investing in your business, it is like something to be concerned about. But if you get yourself to the point where you're like, I'm going to make this work, I know this is going to be successful for me, I'm committed to following the steps, it's a lot less scary because you know deep down, you're going to get these results. You're going to make it happen. You're going to make it happen, right? Let's see. Where could I sell my business? That's a great question. So sometimes you can fall into opportunities of being able to sell your business. I worked with a coach that right before I sold my business, and she only worked with other CPAs specifically. And I told her that I was considering it. And she had another CPA client who was actively going out and buying businesses, and she connected us. And that's how I sold my business. Now, I've had people just reach out to other bookkeeping and tax firms and ask if they're interested in buying clients. That's something that you can do. There are also brokers that actually help people buy and sell bookkeeping businesses. So there's a lot of opportunities there. Can you use QuickBooks and Excel well on an iPad and iPad Pro? I'd say you can do the basic data entry on QuickBooks iPad, but Excel is difficult. And to actually do the month-end reconciliation, I would recommend at a minimum, you need a little bit of a laptop. I don't know, an iPad probably isn't sufficient. The MacBook would be, I think that would be sufficient. But I'm not super familiar with iPad Pros. It may function fine enough to do it, but I like having an actual computer for my stuff, but you can definitely get by with like a little laptop or a Chromebook when you first start. What to learn other than bookkeeping, such as taxation? I think I already answered that. Let's see, answered that one. All right, Karen says, just want to start preparing to do bookkeeping as a side hustle, get really proficient before leaving a 27-year job. What comes first? That's a great question. So for everybody, this is a personal decision. So for me, I did not want to spend another minute away from my daughter wasting time. So I just took a leap of faith in myself that I was going to make this happen, make this work. So I quit my job and then I started my business. And because I knew I only needed $2,000 a month to just be right where I am. And so I was like, I know I can do that. I'll figure it out some way, right? So that's what I did. It worked out well for me. I've had a lot of students who have done that in the past, but the majority of our students, they do this as a side hustle. They do it in their spare time, which none of us really have, but they make it work. And then once they get some proof of concept, they get some money coming in, they all decide to quit their jobs at different levels. I've had people who, like, for example, the people that I showed you on the sheet, Kim, Alicia, and Jen. Kim quit her job. She got 3 clients in like the first 3 months she was in there, and they were all fairly big. So she quit her job right after that, right when she got her 3rd client. She was working 25 hours a week. So it wasn't like a huge paying job, but she exceeded her income quickly and then quit. Alicia is still working her job and she's making a whole bunch of money on the side, but her job is a work from home job and it's flexible. So she is able to kind of maintain that balance a little bit easier than other people, depending on your job. But she is preparing to leave her job now as well. And Alicia's been in business. Well, she got her first client December. So 9 months since she had her first client, and she's still juggled her full-time work from home job. And then Jen was planning on waiting until her year in business to quit her job, but she ended up getting a whole bunch of clients all at once. And she ended up quitting her job in March, and she started the academy the prior August. So it's really different for everybody, whatever you're comfortable with, you know? And so, and there's no wrong answer. If you want to do this on the side, build up some stuff. Some people even want to keep their jobs and just do this on the side for extra money. You can do that too for a while, whatever you want to do. What are cash basis examples of clients? That's a good question. So really every client can be cash basis, and the ones that need more detailed financials, or maybe they're bigger, like that $10 million roofing company that I told you guys we've been working on, they are on accrual. And that is something that is advanced. We do help with that in the academy, but 90% of the clients that you get are going to be cash basis, and those are easy. They're the easy ones. And academy is self-paced. I think I answered that. Yep. How do you show people that this is a legitimate opportunity? Janine, what do you mean exactly? Are you talking about starting up a bookkeeping business, or are you talking about when you're talking to clients, how do you present to them that you're like a legitimate bookkeeper? Can you explain that question a little bit more? Michael says, mainly don't want to undercharge or overcharge. I guess I don't want to scare clients away when quoting, but I'm pretty sure you answered this. Yeah. Yeah. So what we typically do is we help you showcase the value. And it's hard at first because you might not understand the value or believe it yet. And so you have to kind of portray that when you're presenting the options to the client, because obviously they can feed off of your thoughts. If you feel really insecure about the price, or you're not sure, they may feel a little unsure too, right? So we help you with that as well. But I will say, even in the academy, and even with our help, there's always a risk of undercharging or overcharging, just depending on, you know, the communication and really understanding the client. But the good thing is you can always go back later and say, hey, due to these terms, like you have 3 extra credit cards we didn't talk about, you have 5 loans that I didn't know about when I quoted you. Due to these things, I need to adjust your price. And we have templates for engagement letters that you guys get to have your clients sign. And in the engagement letters, it does specifically state that, you know, the monthly fee is going to be reevaluated on a quarterly basis. So it's something that you can change. You're not locked in forever, which is really great. Paulette says, do we need to be proficient in Excel to be successful in this business? I would say you need some Excel skills, and the things that we do in Excel, we can actually teach you and walk you through in the academy, but not like super proficient. You don't have to be like some formula expert in Excel by any means. I'm not. It's just basic stuff. So that way you can upload transactions into QuickBooks. So that's it, but we can teach you all that. So, Janine, I believe by having these webinars and being able to like really talk to people, that's how I can showcase it's a legitimate opportunity. But also, like, we try to show you guys all the time what's going on with our students, and being very transparent on who's getting clients, how much they're making, what this journey has been like. I interview students all the time on my YouTube channel, so you guys can hear directly from them. I share the feedback that they give us. We ask for feedback from our students daily. So we collect a lot of information and I share that out. So we always have 90 to 100% satisfaction on all of our surveys from our students. So that, I feel like that's all I can do. I know this is a leap of faith for you guys to believe in us, believe in me. Your clients are going to be taking a leap of faith, believing in you to handle their bookkeeping, but that's what business is all about. That's just how it works, you know? Sometimes you get burned too. I mean, I will say I've taken a leap of faith in other people, or I've hired vendors or whatever, and they haven't worked out like I thought. So that can happen sometimes, you know? We do everything we can to avoid that, which is why transparency, I'm really big on transparency. I want to tell you guys everything, good, bad, all the in between, answer all of your questions on these calls. Tell it like it is. So that way you fully understand everything. There's no secrets. There's nothing being hidden. Mohid says the problem here in Pakistan is that businesses aren't very regulated and people still use old manual registers, and I want to work with US clients. Yeah, I would start reaching out through them through LinkedIn. Another opportunity, Mohid, is maybe going through Thumbtack or Upstart, things like that, because a lot of times people are looking for overseas help on those channels too. But yeah, you could definitely start reaching them through LinkedIn. Yeah, same marketing. All the social media strategies work out really, really well. And I always highly recommend getting on Zoom calls with clients. It's the best way to build rapport and build a relationship. Like they need to be able to see you and trust you and understand you're a real person that's not just going to scam them, right? So that's what that's all about. So yeah, absolutely. I'm going to drop the link to the funding again in here. So if you guys want to fill that out and take access of our guaranteed approval program. And then of course, I'm going to be here every Thursday and every Saturday. We have this scheduled all the way out through like almost Thanksgiving. So every Thursday and every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. If you think of more questions, then come to the next calls and bring your significant others or anybody else that's going to help you make this decision so they can ask questions too. And if you're ready to rock and roll, let's get in there, apply for funding, shoot me an email, and we'll get you added in. We can get you enrolled ASAP so you can start taking advantage of all the clients that are going to be coming out of the woodwork over the next month for tax season, and then be ready to roll and have your marketing going crazy by the time tax season hits in January. So I really look forward to helping you guys all. And I'm going to be looking forward to your email too, Claire. Thank you. And really appreciate you guys hanging on here. And if there is any more questions, I'll give you guys all like 1 more minute. If anybody has any more questions, how to pitch through LinkedIn to build trust. I would just be really conversational. Just reach out to say, hey, my name is Mohid and I have a bookkeeping company. Maybe you can even pitch it through like, I'm based out of Pakistan, but I only help US based clients. I know I can save you money. Would you be interested in hopping on a quick Zoom call to chat about it? Something like that. And when you do cold pitching like that, just keep in mind that your percentage of interest is going to be very low. Like around 2% of people are actually going to want to get on a call with you, which means you have to increase your efforts. When you do cold reach out like that, you have to increase your efforts. So get your expectations in line with that. You're going to have to reach out to a lot of people that way, but it does work. It does work. Even if you get like 5 clients from it, it'd be great. So all right. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys being on here. Everybody go enjoy your Saturday. Shoot me an email, apply for funding, and I look forward to seeing you on the next webinar or in the Academy. All right. Thanks guys so much. I really appreciate it. Bye.